Welcome back to episode 304 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast.
It's your friendly neighborhood hockey-loving goofballs. Welcome to the Gong Show.
What up? Hey, boys.
What's going on?
Philip, Baba Louie.
Hi.
Josh and Phil are crabby today.
Oh.
And so we're going to, me and Phil, we have a goal to not be a-holes on our own podcast.
We'll do our best. We're
We're going to do our serenity now. Serenity now.
There's a mechanism in the front. You just pull it. I'm sitting back here like an animal.
Oh,
You
so
do
when-
a great Frank Costanza, by the way. Like,
Love
it's
Frank.
very,
He's my spirit
very,
animal.
very close.
That's what I'm going to be when I'm older at the card shows. Get out of my way. I'm going to be hitting people with my cane. Yeah.
Can I tell you what's pathetic, though, is, Phil, you have a very good reason to be crabby.
Thank you.
I have literally none.
Oh, I didn't know
You ever
that.
wake up just like crabby for no reason and you're kind of mad at yourself? It's like, why am I not in a better mood today? Come on.
No, I wake up super happy, but then life gets in the way and I'm like, ah. Yeah, it's okay. We'll chip up. Hockey cards. Come on.
Hockey cards. Yes.
There
It's
we go.
impossible to be.
Yeah.
Louis, are you going to save us today? Are you the ray of sunshine we all need in our lives?
Yeah, today,
You're
well,
such a delight in the room.
recording day is a banger day. I can't say what's going to transpire while everybody's watching, listening to this tomorrow,
Oh.
but today,
Oh, yeah. I
Today,
got you.
right.
I got you. So I'm doing something really random this afternoon, but I'm very, very much looking forward to it. It's kind of feels kind of funny to say it.
are you?
I'm going to the Canada-Guatemala soccer game today, Phil.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, good. Go Canada. I don't
would-
know. Women's, men's? What?
Would you ever
Men's.
miss Guatemala?
Okay.
Yeah, totally Team Guatemala, I guess. No, I don't know. I guess I'll root for Canada. I should, because we have so
Wow,
many
come on.
Canadian listeners.
Yeah, you want to North American. Wait a minute. Guatemala. That's the equator. Is that South?
Guatemala is-
South American. It's got to be, yeah,
South
because under
American.
Mexico. So there we go.
Mhm. My daughter is a huge soccer nut. Football, they call it all around the world. She watches Premier League. She watches everything and is super into it. And this is her. And they have like this big international tournament that's all over North America. I think it's called the Gold Cup. I literally know next to nothing about this, but she did very good in school this year. Got very good grades, and so treat from dad is to take her to a soccer game. She really wants to see an international soccer competition. So as disinterested as I honestly am in the game itself, I'm incredibly looking forward to spending as your kids get to teenagers, they don't really want to hang out with you so much anymore. So
Take
very much-
advantage. If he's interested, take full advantage.
I
Yeah.
think I have kids, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh, no, they remind you when they need money like every 6 hours.
Yes. And the only reason Josh is going to this soccer game, I know why you agreed to it.
Why?
Don't argue me. Because it's inside and it's nasty outside today. It's so
Yeah.
humid.
US Bank, where the Vikings play. That's where we'll be watching the match. Is that what they call it? It's not a game,
Yeah.
right? It's a match, right?
Play a match on the pitch.
Match on the pitch. Here we go. All right. Looking forward to that. Louis, you've been cleaning your house this weekend? That sounds awesome.
Storage room purge. Let me tell you, I filled the whole back of the Sequoia up yesterday and brought it to like the Goodwill kind of donation place. And I could see the look on the people's faces in line behind me. They were like,
Nobody wants this stuff.
no, they were like, oh my Lord, that's a lot of stuff. That was like 4 carts worth of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Purge.
Purge.
Yep.
Home purge. Phil, you had a great episode. Friday Nights with Phil. You want to give a recap for anyone that hasn't seen it yet?
Super fun. Was a great night. Had one of the biggest guests we've ever had, Matt Lee. If you don't know who that is, check him out on Instagram. Lee Sports Cards. Great Toronto boy. Looks like he's 12, but he's 30. Very, very great guy. Yeah, look at that card. Unbelievable. Matt's got top 3 people in our hobby who has the most one of ones. maybe if not the best. I don't know. We'd have to see. Dylan's Cards has a lot. There's a few others as well, but Matt's right at the top of the heap. And he said he has something like 270 101 shields.
Wow.
This is the dude that bought Dave's.
Yes, this is the
Right?
dude that bought Dave's. Yes. And Dave was also on as a co-host, and Perchy. I didn't recognize Perchy. He shaved his beard. I was like, what? Grow that back.
Yeah.
I love you, Perchy. And it's a great time. Had a fantastic time. Did not give away a box of cards, but gave away a cherished heritage children's book, the Hockey Sweater, very popular up here in Canada. And I'd like to introduce that to your country because it's a beautiful story by a beautiful author, Rock Carrier. And I gave away 2 of the books. And one of the guys who won, Sinjin, he was so nice. He gave the book to Perchy because Perchy has like 9 kids or something. So
I can't wait for bedtime sweater stories with Phil.
yeah,
Is it true though? You only like the book because it trashes the Maple Leafs?
Well, I like the book because it was read to me as a child. I wasn't allowed to watch TV or cartoons as a kid because Jehovah's Witness stuff. So I that's why I'm a big reader now. A lot of people wouldn't think so, but I love reading. And my depending whose house I was at, one of my parents would read me a lot of bedtime stories, and that book followed me everywhere. So I was allowed to have that book, and it read to me, so it's very special to me.
Dude,
And
you need to cherish that though. That's one thing. I mean, there's no book on being a parent.
Correct.
But that's one thing I wish I would have done more. Looking back now, is like the whole just reading a book or a chapter or something to a kid or both. Well, I don't think they'd probably kill each other in the bed at the same time, but just a little
memories, man. I don't want to get psychology, but like I don't have fantastic childhood memories, but of my parents or life. But one of the great ones I have is everything to do with hockey and the NHL. It's why I love watching hockey in French. I can only know what they're saying like 30% of the time, but it's very comforting to me. So, yeah.
Well, it's a very nice thing you're doing.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. And the show is awesome. If you haven't checked it out, a lot of great information, a lot of good insight from, like you said, a huge 101 Shield collector. And so you can go check that out on the Gongshow YouTube or on Spotify or Apple.
I should mention that
people listen.
How he approaches the hobby is very interesting. And Matt is very down to earth. He's got and he talks about his losses, right? So many people don't talk about, my uncle's won $50 million at the casino. Well, he's lost 60, right? You never hear the losses. Matt talks about his losses and his sillier purchases. And he's very honest, very down to earth. He humanized his Instagram account, which was fantastic. So go check it out.
That is awesome. A good fresh or some honesty in social media posting is good. Need to make a quick hockeychecklist.com update. Maybe not like super quick because we got a new feature to share that I've been working on for the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to try to. Yeah, Power Search. Power Search tool on the checklist site. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the checklist site right now. So right now we're looking at the 2024-25 O-Pee-Chee Platinum checklist, and it's just very sort of on the main page. So we've kind of rebranded our search function to Power Search, and if you go to the site, there's a little helper text button or icon. You can click or tap on that, and that now shows you all. So before you had to memorize all the different search options. Now it shows you can search by player name, team name, or location. So that means like Senators or Ottawa. If you want to find Hall of Famers, just type in HOF or Hall of Fame. You can search for rookies by typing in rookie or rookies and then birth countries. So if you want to find in the specific set, any player from Sweden, type in Sweden or Canada or USA, etc. That is not like the biggest kind of bell and whistle as a part of this update though. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to search for Bedard in 2024-25 O-Pee-Chee Platinum. And we've also now added the of course, I have to do it again.
Come on, Josh.
Okay, so if you search for Connor Bedard, we also are now totaling the amount of cards in the set. So as you can see, not including parallels, but there's 5 unique Connor Bedard cards in 2024-25 O-Pee-Chee Platinum, right? So if you're looking to maybe buy into a break spot and you want to know there's a retro or premiere There's retro, a blue rainbow auto, and the mixed media variant, and then his base card. Right. It also works for team searches. So if you want to search for Phil maybe wants to buy a Senators break spot, there's 30 dicks. 36. Oh, geez. Freudian.
Wow.
Freudian slip there, hey,
out.
big boy. Oh, I just wish I could have.
Wow.
I got 99 problems with
All right. There's 36 different Senators cards. And I needed that. See, I was crabby. No, I'm not anymore. Cards in 2024 O-Pee-Chee Platinum. And this is something people have requested. So we went ahead and added it. We're also working on the kind of the SPA run to get all the Future Watch autos in there. And 2019-20 should be live on the site in the next day or so. That's my update.
We should you should set up an email for checklist requests. That might help you out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What? You know how
I'll
many
be the first one to email you.
We already get out of Discord a day?
Yeah, we get a lot out of Discord.
Oh, okay, good.
So, all right, turning it back over to Baba Louie. What other updates do we have? Oh, got to mention GP Sports Cards. Sorry, Louie, did that out of order.
That's all right.
They are the official breaking partner of our show, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast. Your next chance to break with Grant will be this upcoming Wednesday for O-Pee-Chee Platinum release day. A huge day in the hobby. I'm sure they'll be breaking a ton of platinum cases, probably both on Whatnot and YouTube. So you can go to Whatnot and I think it's bookmark their store, and that will alert you when they have upcoming streams. Usually do the mornings of release day. So that'd be Wednesday morning to get in to some platinum breaks. And then for sure, Grant will be breaking a ton of cases on YouTube on Wednesday night because he can't stop, won't stop. And he's an addict to this whole hobby, just like we are.
What's the I forget the photos of the Future Watch. Is there more polka dots, and is it noisier or less noisy, the Future Watches this year? Do you guys remember? I completely forget.
This is platinum.
Platinum.
Oh my God, Phil. I'm sorry. I did say Future Watches. I apologize. Gold, seismic gold. Was it more bright than last year, or is it? I forget completely.
I don't think there's a picture yet. The only the one on the checklist side is the bioluminescence. That's the image that Upper Deck from the base set. That's the out of 5 newer parallel. And we're going to do a whole breakdown later on. But
yeah, it was more the seismic gold. Sorry,
I got you. Go ahead. I'm curious about that too. Next update, chat about Discord real quick. So tomorrow, episode 7 of our Discord exclusive show, Behind the Bench with Neil. IFC debuts.
Mm-hmm.
Louis, what's the topic this week? I think
this one's actually pretty cool. I dabbled into it a little bit, but then I ended up stopping. Now I'm back into it again. So Neil has from our Discord Postmaster Scott, and they are going to go over the Collects app, where you can scan your cards and build your database of your cards, which he is an ambassador for. And then they discuss buying, selling, and everything else within that app that you can do.
Nice. Yeah, it'd be a good intro to a product like that. And Scott, I know he's like an ambassador, you said, or something like that. So he knows a lot about it. Looking forward to that. Lastly, before we get this Gong Show started, it's already started for sure today. I need a lot of therapy, apparently. You can. We are a Patreon podcast, which means we rely on your support to help us cover our show expenses, continue to produce more and what we hope to be better hockey card content, fun initiatives, and a small way to grow the hockey hobby. You can support us for as little as $5 US a month. Still be one of the first 299 supporters of our show. You forever get that title in our Discord, which you get access to. It's the the number one spot for lonely men to hook up. That came up.
You're on fire today, buddy.
Yeah, you're rolling, bud.
Yeah. Updating your grinder avatar? What's going on?
I don't know what's happening. It's very easy to support. That's not a sales pitch. I don't know what it is.
Go ahead.
Just imagine getting like 3,000 Patreon sign-ups tomorrow because people thinking.
Yeah, that'll take a sharp turn. What would you do, though? Would you play along for a little bit? Or I don't know. I probably would. I'm a bear.
I would. You gotta play along with that, because then you can come home and be like, honey, Better keep it good because I got options.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Just set your VPN to Europe, and then your buddies won't see you. You're good to go.
If you want to support us for hockey cards and be part of our hockey card Discord, it's as little as $5 a month. You can just go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, click on the Become a Patron link at the top of the page, or go to Patreon directly, patreon.com, search for Hockey Cards Gongshow. There's a link in the show description in both YouTube and the podcast apps and our Instagram, TikTok profiles too.
Mm-hmm.
Baba Louie. There
Yes.
are 2 new patrons that joined for hockey card reasons.
Yeah, we had 2 new ones. First one before this show, Spike. Thanks, brother.
Spike.
And then we have Russian 05.
Right on. Welcome, boys. Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the crew. All right, Louis, what's our game plan for today?
Awesome game plan today. First, we're going to jump into get to know your Hall of Famers. Then we will touch on the NHL Draft Recap. Then it's some hobby news. After that, it's Fanatics Fest Recap with our little buddy, Mr. Breaker, Grant Paterson. Then we'll get into new product releases. Can't wait for this. It looks so sick. Then it's off to the Gongshow Mailbag. And we will finish up with some personal pickups.
Thank you. Our Get to Know Your Hall of Famers series is where we profile every single Hockey Hall of Fame player, starting with the very first Hall of Fame class of 1945. Enshrined at the end of World War II, which is kind of crazy when the Hall of Fame started.
Yeah, well,
Mm-hmm.
We've been working our way to present day and now at the class of 1962. We profiled over 60 Hall of Famers to this point. For each player, we do a very quick bio, state why you should care about them, then take a look at their hobby markets. Today's player we're going to learn more about is Punch Broadbent.
Oh, he's a former, I know some stuff about him.
Nice.
He's an Ottawa boy, right? Please stop me if I'm wrong. No, and he, old shoulders, old elbows, old shoulders,
Old elbows,
something like that.
I love that the name like totally sounds like early 1900s, like Punch Broadbent, say, yeah.
Yeah,
Broadbent.
totally. He's got the little hat there. Man, you want to fight? What, you want to fight about it? And he has, doesn't he still hold a record for?
We're
goals in a row or something.
Going to get into it.
Okay, good. Yeah, this one's good.
Quit flexing, brother.
No, Phil. Bring in the
Flex. I'm just rambling on. Trust me, I anti-flex more than I flex, Louis.
No,
Sorry.
I'm just mad because you knew who he was, and I'm like, damn it, another guy.
Well, he's from Ottawa. I don't know if he's from Ottawa,
Ottawa,
but I know he's the Senators connection. And I'm pretty sure I played a couple of tournaments at the Percy Arena, which is a very old arena, and I think that's where I remember something from him. A very old school arena. He's got roots here, man. He's got big roots. That's the only reason I know. I probably should know a lot more, but I don't.
If we went back and looked at the 60 some odd players that we've now profiled, it feels like half of them are from Ottawa. Like Ottawa, it seems like it was the epicenter of hockey in the early 1900s.
And then they went to Toronto to die.
The canal, the fur trade, bustling spot back in the day. Very blue collar-ish.
Hustle and bustle.
What happened?
Harold Lawton, Harry Punch Broadbent. That's a lot of names. Lived from 1892 until passing away at the age of 78 in 1971. He was a lifelong resident of Ottawa, Ontario, which we've covered. Punch was a small but sturdy man. 5'7", more than 180 pounds, though. So,
ooh, that's solid. I'm 180 and I'm 5'9", so
5'8".
Well, I don't know. It's hard. But look, it depends if you have your stepladder or not. How are you going to measure me?
Okay. In a hockey career that lasted from 1912 until 1929, he played right wing for the Ottawa Senators, the Montreal Maroons, and the New York Americans. During his career, Punch won the Stanley Cup 4 times, 3 times with the Senators and 1 time with the Montreal Maroons. Now, while Broadbent's career did span 18 years, he only played hockey for 17 years. He only played hockey for 14 of those, as he most honorably took a 3-year hiatus from the game of hockey to serve with the Royal Regiment of Canadian Artillery in the First World War. Look at that boss military.
Look at him, man. When men were men.
He was promoted to Bombardier in October of 1916. And in 1918 was awarded the Military Medal for his service during the war. This medal was awarded for bravery in battle on land.
Mm.
Sadly, Punch's only brother, Spencer, was killed in action during the war. So he had to deal with that as well.
Now, I got a question about that. I don't know if it said anything in there, but his only brother, isn't that, do they not go and pull you out then when there's only one son left?
You're thinking of the Matt Damon, the Spielberg
Private
movie.
Ryan.
Private Ryan thing?
Private Ryan.
But do they do that? Did they, or?
That was World War II, first of
This
all,
is
not World War One.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
World War I.
And I think in the case of Saving Private Ryan, Matthew Damon's character, there was 5 brothers and 4 had been killed.
Yeah.
I think they made an exception for that, if I remember the movie correctly. But yeah, good question. During his professional career, Broadbent scored 172 goals, added 58 assists for 230 points in 360 games played. And after his playing career ended, he would coach a lot, I guess, in the Ottawa City League for a number of years. Why should you care about Punch Broadbent? Well, how did he get his nickname Punch? Let's start there. In a January 27th, 1934 article on Broadbent in the Montreal Gazette by D.A.L. McDonald, one of Phil's favorite writers, he was called Punch because of his round, chubby face, which would puff up like a Billiken charm doll when he smiled.
What's that?
Don't know.
I don't know.
You have a Billiken charm doll collection, Phil?
No, it sounds like a horror movie. I don't want dolls in my house. Well, that's not true. I do have an Ottawa Senators Barbie.
What?
Yeah, I showed you. I said, hey, it's Money Moose. Remember? It's a blonde Barbie with a jersey on it.
Okay.
Anyways.
He's regarded as one of the first true power forwards in NHL history. For this reason, he was known in his day as Old Elbows.
There you go. Old Shoulders. I thought it was Old Shoulders. Wow, they both work.
So he's got a nickname, Punch, Old Elbows. How many nicknames does he need? But sounds like he deserved it. Not only did he play tough, he wasn't afraid to stir the pot. He once got fined for trying to start a fight while sitting in the penalty box.
Yeah,
He personified the rugged, confrontational spirit of early NHL hockey. After earning a military medal for bravery with the Canadian Field Artillery in World War I, Broadbent returned to Ottawa in January of 2019. The Ottawa Citizen described how he debuted in the NHL shortly after his arrival, receiving a vociferous ovation. That was the quote from the newspaper. When he first stepped on the ice, he scored his first NHL goal soon after, followed by an overtime winner against Toronto, a symbolic return to hockey dominance. Love the stories like that. Serves in the war and comes back to great success. Great success. That's bad. Punch Broadbent caught fire during the 1921-22 season, scoring in 16 consecutive games, a record that still stands today.
That's crazy. Wild, eh? 16 games in a row. Wow. Come on, Ovi, you couldn't do that?
During his incredible run, he regularly tallied multiple goal games and finished the season as the NHL's leading goal scorer with 32 goals in just 24 games. It's an incredible record.
Wow.
During the 1923 Stanley Cup Finals, Broadbent scored the cup-winning goal in overtime against Edmonton, clinching the series for Ottawa and cementing his reputation as a clutch performer when it mattered most. After being traded to the Montreal Maroons in 1924, Broadbent made an immediate impact by scoring 5 goals in a single game against the Hamilton Tigers. He continued his stellar play and helped lead the Maroons to their first Stanley Cup championship in 1926. And finally, in one of hockey's biggest quirks, Broadbent's name appears upside down on the Stanley Cup. For unknown reasons, possibly an engraving error, his name stands out alone, inverted on the cup's outer ring, a small mystery that adds to the legend of Punch Broadbent.
Interesting. What year did they play Edmonton? If you can go back there, did you catch that?
1920.
That's good enough. Okay. So I'm pretty sure commercial air travel really only got popular in the 20s and 30s. How did all these hockey teams
Railway?
I guess they
Or-
took planes, but I don't know. They didn't take the Greyhound, I guess. Like, how do you go from Ottawa to Edmonton in the 20s? I guess you take a plane, but that's kind of nerve-wracking, right? Like, hey, we have this big machine in the sky. We're going to commercialize and make them cheaper and more of them. You want to get on it? No. Like,
maybe a train?
yeah, I guess. Like, oh, we're playing.
But it
in
would take a
Edmonton
couple of days, I would assume.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Canada's big. So it's I something I never thought about just till now. Curious how they transport it around.
Well, let's take a look at the Punch Broadbent hobby market. His rookie card is in the 1912 C57 set. Card number 2. This PSA 5 is the highest selling copy to date. It sold for $8,000 US in June of 2021. There's also a Broadbent card in the 1923. So he goes from 1912 to 1923 is really his next card. In the 23 William Paterson V145 set. So this would have been after he returned from serving in World War I. Pictured right now as the highest seller at PSA 6, sold for just $416 US in October 2018. Wow. Then a year after,
yeah, big difference with the 12, sorry.
Yeah. The next one is a 1924 Champ Cigarette C144 set. This even looks way older here than even the year prior. PSA 7 pictured highest seller, having sold for $2,558 in July of 2021. And then there's also a Broadbent card in the 1925 Anonymous set, which I can never find any sales for these, but they're in TCDB. So, yeah, I don't know. But there's 4 playing day cards for Punch Broadbent.
Yeah, pretty good. That's more than some of the other guys we've showcased.
And he's in the Cardophilium set too. So I know you were panicking a little bit on the inside there, Phil.
A little bit.
Well, that's your Hockey Hall of Famer, Punch Broadbent.
Awesome job, man.
Billy.
Yeah.
NHL teams in the early years primarily traveled by train for games. Their biggest travel methods were trains, buses. Sometimes they had to use a different kind of automobile. Multiple ones. But yeah, train was the big deal. Unless it was a shorter trip, then they'd jump on the bus.
Thank you,
Trains and automobiles.
Yeah, exactly. Steve Martin at the counter. Let's not repeat that, eh?
Right. That's awesome.
Maybe Saskatoon Carter took that.
Oh, yeah, Carter, come pick us up. You're on the way, right? Choo-choo.
Talk about the draft. Friday night, 2025 NHL Draft. Did either of you watch it? I was following along on my phone because I was at a family thing. But
I had it off to the side. I laughed when they got to Ottawa and we're having technical difficulties. The whole night was technical difficulties, Leaving us to have the worst ones.
Yeah, help fill it in for me. Like, I've heard a lot of negative feedback about the production of the draft. Was it just
3-minute clock, and it made no difference. They never cared. There was no respect to the clock. Nothing. I want to see everybody. I want to see all the GMs on the floor. I want to see them running around sweating. It was the GMs that wanted it this way. Well, that's what you get. I hope it never happens again like that.
The decentralized thing where they're all at their team facility and
come on, man. What I don't, was it to save money? Is it carbon emissions? Like, stop. Just go to the place and do the thing.
They didn't want to travel, I'm guessing.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I remember going to the one here. Oh, geez.
Was it fun?
Well, it was way back when, still with the Met Center. We still had the North Stars, but I still remember how cool it was to have all the teams at the tables on the floor.
Yeah.
With
phones. Buy, sell.
Yeah.
No. I watched it like Phil over here as I was working over here.
Yeah.
And it, you know what? It was good. It looked cool until they had the guys go to the, whatever they called that little room where they talked to upper management. That was just a kind of a train wreck.
Was that a little awkward? Like,
it's always awkward.
Can you imagine if you're a kid and you just been drafted and now you're on TV and you're like having to talk to new bosses for the first time while the whole world is watching you?
They get coached though. Like I like the ones that go off the rails a little bit when those kids are perfectly smiling and saying the perfect thing. I don't know. My radar goes up. Good PR there.
Yeah, the one I remember, and I know we'll get into James Higgins, but he went up to the, after pictures were taken and stuff, and he went over to the side there to the mic and went up. The female that was on there, was asking her questions to the guys in the war room, we'll call it, and Higgins was like, "I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for taking me." And nobody could hear anybody. It was just kind of like, odd moment.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Well, we're gonna go through a handful of the first round picks.
Mhm.
We can't go through it. Can't go through them all, unfortunately. And talk about some highlights. Maybe look at the hobby side for a couple of these players, and then we'll get some additional thoughts from you, Babalui, and Phil, of course, as you guys are probably more into the draft and prospecting than I am. At number one, to no surprise, we had Matthew Schaefer going to the Islanders, the first player since Connie McDavid to be
Mhm.
drafted first overall in both the OHL and NHL. Don't know if you know that.
Yep.
He's also the first number one overall pick by the Islanders since John Tavares in 2009.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's true, eh?
And the first defenseman selected first overall by the Islanders since Denny Potvin in 1973. Pretty emotional moment for him as he remembered his late mother while being drafted.
Oh, yeah.
So very sad there. I mean, 17-year-old kid losing his mother to cancer.
Yeah.
Definitely feel for him.
Yeah. If you guys didn't see it, his jersey, the NHL actually put the purple or pink.
Oh, the
ribbon.
cancer ribbon.
Yeah, the cancer ribbon on the jersey for him. Yeah, it was
Amazing.
great.
That's amazing.
Good job by you.
Just 17 years old, he's expected to have the opportunity to earn a spot in the opening night lineup for the Islanders. Here's a look at the young core now that the Isles have put together, building block around Schaefer. So you have Callum Ritchie, Cole Iserman, who I still think is developing, hasn't debuted. They took Victor Eklund, who Ross Cohen said could be better than William Eklund, his younger brother, later in the first round.
High praise, yeah.
So it seems like a pretty decent prospect pool there for the Isles. And then now looking at the hobby side for Matthew Schaefer, I think defenseman going number one is a little bit tricky. I'm sure he'll be a big chase next season. Any number one pick will be.
Mhm.
I would just caution people to be wary of what can happen market wise with defensemen that do go number one. So I've went and found the last 5 D-men that were picked first overall. Owen Power was prior to Schaefer, Rasmus Dahlin, Aaron Ekblad, Eric Johnson. Then you have to go all the way back to Phil's team in 1996, Chris Phillips.
Chris Phillips, yeah.
But none of them are like, just because you're the first number one or the number one overall pick does not mean you're going to be an all-time legendary great hobby chase. You could be an amazing player. Like Rasmus Dahlin and Aaron Ekblad are awesome.
Yeah, Phillips, great community guy, top 4D, stay-at-home defenseman. It's funny because in juniors he was more of an offensive skill. So you could be drafting, but once you put them in their role, like if they want Schaefer to be a shutdown D, that's what he is. Well, your cards are probably not going up too fast.
Yeah. Or they're not going to have, they may be $2,000 next year and $200 10 years from now. Right.
Yeah.
And
so
that's with any
fair
prospect.
warning. Yeah.
Right.
So just something to keep in mind.
And first round pick or first pick in the first round aside, I don't know that the Islanders would have taken anybody else but him, even if, let's say, he was like a 2 or a 3. Islanders are pretty good up front. They needed to shore up their D. So no matter where he would have landed, let's just say in the top 3, I still think they would have taken him regardless.
Yeah. Number 2, we had Michael Misa. So we can look forward to more pricey shark breaks probably next year as the high scoring Misa gets selected by San Jose with the number 2 overall pick. He is projecting to be an elite top line center. which is weird because the Sharks already have an elite top line center. I wish our Wild had this problem, by the way.
Yeah, that's the one position we can't figure out, except for Eck.
Okay. It'll be fun to see how that shakes out. The one thing for sure, even if Misa or Celebrini, one of them gets moved to wing, they should play on the power play together. And that could be a lethal combo as they continue to develop. Just like with the Islanders, here's a look at the Sharks' young core now, where you have Misa, Celebrini, Will Smith, William Eklund, we just mentioned. They've got their goalie, and they traded for an Askarov, and probably defense is where they need to focus next, I would guess.
Yeah. Erik Karlsson's available. Could you imagine him with all these kids?
Going back to San Jose. As Russ Cohen did mention on our show last week, Misa does intend to play in the NHL next season, so we'll see if he makes the team out of camp. And I think as far as like the hobby goes with him next year, it'll all come down to that, whether he makes the team or not. And then point production, most importantly, goals, because we are already figuring Ivan Demidov to be the big Series 1 chase. And it's sort of setting the table set right now for, I think, Misa to be the big draw in Series 2 next year.
Yeah,
that's what would be my prediction.
This is a banger lineup here. I mean, put Misa, if he, I don't know though. First line center. Well, let's say he pans out. Misa center, moves Celebrini to wing, and then Smith, he's producing. He's developing
your second line
quick,
center.
and then he would be your second line center. Yep. This is
Celebrini. I'd keep him as a center forever and always, personally. My opinion.
I mean, well, it's amazing that they have that option. I'll go back to our Wild for a second. The number 3 pick was owned by the Chicago Blackhawks, and they selected Anton Frundell. Most likely projects as a winger at the NHL level. 18-year-old Swede. They're thinking he could be a 75, 85-point guy in the NHL. Could pair nicely with Connor Bedard, as we know, who desperately needs help. The immediate issue, though, is Frondell, they say, could be up to 18 months from suiting up for the Blackhawks at this point. Like, he's going to stay in Sweden, I believe, at least one more year. So this was not a pick that will help Bedsy in the year upcoming. Here's a look at the Blackhawks young core that they're developing. And as much as we talk about how empty the cupboard is, it's not terrible.
No.
I think that's a testament to how good Frundell is. I don't know a lot about him at all, but I've caught earfuls in the last few weeks of the people that do know a lot about him are so high on him. His ceiling is crazy high. I've even heard he could, in some of his best seasons, he could get 100 points. I mean, nobody knows.
Sure.
But the fact that Chicago took him and not someone who's ready to go, or more probability to ready to go. To me, that's a testament to how good he might actually be.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, that if you're willing to wait on him, especially all the immediate needs, that probably is a testament, as you're saying. The hobby bummer, though, is that I think a lot of people were hoping that this pick would help Bedard. Like, it's not even about the pick. It's somebody that can convert some of his passes or, take a little bit of the focus away from the defense. And so now I guess we're looking at free agency to fill that void as Frundell.
I thought they were going to go Martone. I was surprised they went Frundell myself.
Yeah. I didn't look any farther into the draft build. Well, this is kind of technical. I don't think anybody would really look for this unless they were purposely doing it. But Chicago's left side Ds needed some help. And I think that would also help Bedard. So I've got to, I guess, I'm not going anywhere with this, but I got to look deeper to see who they took farther into the draft, because that's where.
Well, they took someone interesting. I'll tell you that. I'm going to mention him after.
Oh, good.
Okay. Yeah.
Good. Looking forward to that. At number 4, we had Caleb Desnoyers. Desnoyers? Is that how you say it?
Desnoyers.
Desnoyers.
Okay.
Desnoyers.
NYA. The Mammoths, their first ever draft pick, official draft pick. Caleb, as I'm going to call him now. He projects to either be a top second line center or capable first liner. Looks like the appeal in Utah for him was his size and a grittiness factor, that they've got a lot of finesse guys like Cooley and Keller and Gunther. And I think they wanted some grit up
Mhm.
there. Sounds like it's questionable if he'll play in the NHL next season. He could go back to the juniors or play in the AHL. Those are some options for further development. So we'll have to see on that one. And from the hobby, it'll just come down to how quickly he develops and when he makes it to the NHL. So this one
Right.
could be a little bit of a wait and see.
Yeah, when the audio was working between the player and the war room. Sounds like this is the guy Utah wanted. I mean, they'd probably take Misa if they were up there, but they were really high on this kid. So that was really
Nice.
cool to see. The smile on this kid's face was amazing when he was talking to them. It was great.
And his brother Elliot plays for the Flyers, I believe, right? Or in the Flyers AHL team, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll jump from 4 to 6, and that is the Porter Martone. He went to the Flyers. Man, this seems like a really great fit to match up with Matt by Mitchkoff on, you got Porter on the winger, and I think he's a right wing. Is Mitchkoff a left wing? I believe. I can't remember.
I don't know.
But he's a big physical forward, two-way game, 6'3", 210.
That's big boy.
That's big boy.
You know,
I know our boy Neil's pretty happy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to be.
This kid was destined for the NHL for one reason. Do you know what it is?
No.
His name. Awesome.
Yeah, he does have an awesome name. Like I think that.
Name.
Do you think that matters in cards too? Like guys with
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So you guys make fun of me all the time for not listening. Of course, phonetically, things gotta sound good. What are you, Logan Cooley? That's a wicked name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So scouts do think, though, he'll need a year or two to improve his skating to maximize his potential in the NHL. And they think, though, that he could play this year in Philadelphia and battle for a roster spot. Initially, maybe project more as a bottom 6 role as he develops and gets stronger skating abilities. And I think because of the excitement of pairing somebody with Mitchkoff, that he would probably be a minor hobby chase if he makes a team and probably series 2. Then we'll go to number 7, James Hagens. Now, is this a bit of a slide?
Yeah, it's a big slide. It's a big slide. Yeah.
Do we have a Shane Wright revenge tour situation brewing here with James Hagens? Is he going to be angry about?
He's good, man. Watch out. That shot is crazy. Like Russ was saying, go look at James Hagen's goal compilations on YouTube. You're like, how is he not first pick?
He does project to be a top line center in the NHL. They say maybe not as like dynamic as Michael Misa, but very smooth and efficient player. It does appear, though, he's going to return to BC for another year of college hockey. That's what I was reading the other day, to continue his development. So, but that doesn't mean he won't play in the NHL next year. He could be after the college season call up, which would put him in line to be a 26-27 Series 1 Young Guns, if that were the case.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, and then I sent Louis a recap of the first round. So those are the guys I wanted to highlight in particular. There's a couple more guys we could mention, and then I want you guys to chime in with other interesting picks. But Roger McQueen goes to the Ducks, another cool name.
Mm-hmm.
Big boy.
Huge, 6'5".
Yeah, he's a big lad.
And here's the thing on him. Like they say, it's like a home run swing, right? Where the big question mark is his back, which is very scary. Back injuries are no bueno, as Phil likes to say. But I was reading some articles where scouts are saying that he has more upside than any player on the Ducks, more upside than Carlson, Dylan, or Cutter Gauthier, Mason McTavish. Like if he's healthy, he could be a grand slam for the Ducks. So I thought that would point that out. And then Phil, my last question is, how many Logan Hensler Young Guns have you pre-ordered? Yeah, like
780.
Okay.
Nah, he's not. He's exactly what we need. Good right hand shot. Stay at home D. I mean, we don't know what his role is going to be in the show, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be top 4D. And put him with Shabbat or Sanderson we're not looking for big goals out of him. We just need a good breakout guy, and the right shot is huge for my team right now. So we drafted a very mature player. Very happy.
Louis, do you want to break down the Wild and Devils first round? What?
Oh, When did we get any?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Oh,
why
yeah.
don't think you? Oh, the Devils didn't get a pick.
No,
I know the
no, we
Wild.
don't need them, Phil. We don't need those. Come on, picks.
Oh, I knew
Picks.
Wild. Oh wow, that sucks.
I'm still as much as you guys and everybody else knows how much of a fan of St. Louis I am. I think they nailed it again. I still like with talking with Russ. He said Russ was saying, he makes some mistakes cutting to the middle and stuff, but this Justin Carbonell,
Yeah.
not gonna be happy seeing him constantly against the Wild. That's for sure.
If you do,
Him,
I don't know.
Snuggerud, well, yeah, but him and say when he plays him,
Jimmy Snugs?
I mean,
Go
dude,
back 3 years and look at the top 30. Took a look at the first round picks. You're not going to recognize 85% of the names, but 3 years
Sure.
ago, all of them were talked about.
mhm.
So it's always so fascinating to see, which is a good segue to my
Yeah.
next. I have 2 players I thought that would be. I think personally, the highest up ceiling is Merca to Buffalo at 9. That he's very, very good.
Well,
I
they're so
think he
good
has
at
one of the
developing
highest.
players. It's hard to imagine it now.
Yeah, I know. And he went to Buffalo. If the funniest part of that is if you look at his face, go Google his face when he got drafted, poor kid. And then secondly, I am a huge, my curiosity is massively picked with one of Chicago's picks, Mason West, the football player. He's like 6'6", 6'7". And for Chicago it's just gonna be a bonehead play, or he could be the new Bo Jackson. Big kid, crazy athleticism, is one of those kids. I'm sure we all had them in high school and college. They just can't play a sport incorrectly. They excel at everything. And if Mason picks hockey, I don't know. It'd be really interesting to see. So those are, and Brady Martin, that was another one. I really want to see him have a great career. He's a good farm kid from Saskatchewan. I'd love to see him have a great career. I'd love him on my hockey team, that's for sure. He's not a big points kid, but
Sure.
heart and soul of the locker room kind of thing,
Yeah, I'm 100% on with your Mason West pick, going Minnesota homer on it.
I'm
He's
watching.
from Edina, right?
Edina boy, yeah,
I'm watching for years to come. I'm excited.
yeah, it'll be
Who
fun.
is the most likely on this list of 32 players to be the biggest hobby star, do we think? Still?
Star?
Yeah. Like the
I'd say
5 years
Misa,
from now,
but
whose young guns is worth the most?
Oh, see, I don't like that.
Frondell makes me nervous. I don't know a lot about it, but I'm like, wow, he went that high. That's crazy. So Misa for me.
It's
Carter
gonna,
Bear pops him in
it's
pretty well.
gonna be Misa's gonna be the biggest chase, all because of popularity.
Yeah. Well, it's important.
It is. Now you got to just produce, boy.
Now we'll see what happens. Like development camps are already underway, so these guys will start to hit the ice, and news will trickle out. Who's better or worse than expected? Slab Sharks is a Gongshow partner and sponsor. We're grateful for their support of our show. The current Slab Sharks weekly eBay auction is live, ends this upcoming Thursday night. This one is a monster. Well, we always say it, but this one is a monster.
Is it a monster? Or do we call it? This one's gonna be a doozy.
The doozy. Ooh, high praise. We have the biggest hockey card ever auction on eBay. I don't know. Is that good? Is that special?
It's not bad. Not bad. Leading the pack. Always good.
Leading the pack. This beauty, the 23-24 Ultimate Collection, Connor Bedard, rookie Shield Auto 101. The clock will tick down on Thursday night, and we'll see how much it goes for. You guys have predictions?
No.
I think
Over
I don't
under
know.
100K. You got to pick one. Over under.
I'll
100K.
pick the over on that, Bob.
On
Yeah.
100
Over on the 100K.
Over 100 Canadian.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Well,
That does matter. Does. Then there's beyond the Bedsy though. There's 5,500 other cards to bid on. That's not too shabby.
No.
Thursday night will be bonkers. We're going to be live on YouTube, covering the close of the auction, hanging out in the chat, having some fun. I want to make one other quick, kind of important announcement. I don't know if you guys have seen this. A lot's been going on this weekend, but there's some new like digital electronic trade war thing starting Monday between the U.S. and Canada. I did reach out.
Sorry about that. We did that. Apologies. Digital tax 3%.
I did reach out to Slab Sharks, and that does not affect Slab Sharks.
Okay.
So good news there. Well, this past weekend, the three of us hockey card bros,
Yeah.
we each spent time looking through the auction, have picked out our favorites because I always make the best choices and have the best taste in cards. I, of course, will go first, and that means we know Phil will go last. And then
Okay.
maybe he'll learn something from me and Louie. That would be nice.
Yeah, takes on everything in hockey.
My
you guys
first pick.
You need to
What?
put those in an audio program and even them out.
How loud was that one?
I was very silent.
Non-existent.
Okay.
Yeah, you could barely. The first card I picked was a 23 Upper Deck the Cup Connor Bedard Monumental Rookie Patch booklet out of 6. This is completely ridiculous, I think, from a patch perspective. I think these will go for a lot of money.
Does nothing for me. Zero.
Really?
Zero. This looks like you made this, and this looks like Ava made this 10 years ago and gave it to you for Father's Day. Here you go, Daddy. I scribbled on it and I put some felt on cardboard.
I just think it's unique and cool, and this is
It
like
is
with
unique and cool. I'm just being a grump. It's not for me. You know me with booklets. I'm just bugging.
I know, Phil.
Yeah.
The next one I think you might like because this card I want very badly. It's a 2015 Upper Deck the Cup Pavel Bure and Jaromir Jagr dual signature patches, auto out of 15.
Beautiful.
Two of my favorite guys.
Beautiful
And
card.
Wow.
I love Bure's autograph. It always looks like he says Phil.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like he's drunk and signing Phil.
I'm
He's signing
Phil
you out of
from
jail. You went out
Ottawa.
drinking and you got arrested, and he's signing you out of jail.
It looks like
Yeah,
your full first name, like Phila. What is it?
Philippa?
Is it
My full
Philippa?
name is Philippa.
Yeah.
Udiba?
Philippa? Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Uncultured. My
That's-
friends are uncultured.
True. Louis, what were your favorites?
Oh, hold on. I gotta sit up for this first one. This one's really sweet, and I'll never get it.
I was gonna pick it, but then I thought that would be mean.
I'm surprised you picked this instead of the other one.
I like this one better. But
What?
23-24 the cup. Gold foil patch auto out of 8. Marty B.
Nice.
Here's the reason why I picked this, Bill, over the
Okay.
other one. Is since I picked up that 18-19 Escher gold foil patch auto out of 8.
Yeah.
I've really been attracted to these cards now.
Yeah, they're awesome. More than a shield patch, though. That's crazy. And I love the fabric of the Panini Broder shield patch. I thought that's what I'm comparing it to.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
a wicked card to me. This is
But-
beautiful too, though.
I like this one. So, like I said, got to stick with my
The theme.
oh, yep. Pick what I can't buy. So,
I feel like I need to clarify.
why?
When you say really attracted, you mean platonically, right?
Yeah. Aroused. That's the word you're
Ooh.
looking for, Louis. Aroused.
I was around.
Okay, moving on.
Next one's a 2012 Fleer Retro
Oh.
Crosby Diamond Tribute. PSA 10.
These are awesome cards.
This is a sweet card.
Yeah,
Nothing
they
to
shine.
Nothing more to say. It's got kind of that, if you're listening, if you don't know what it is, it's almost like the kind of outbursty feel in the background.
It's a
But not-
prequel to the
Yeah.
Outburst.
Yeah.
The origin story.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a sweet card. Are you collecting any Crosby tongue cards, Phil?
No, he can. No, I'll leave that for the ladies and Louis.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, tongue in mouth, please.
Here you go, bud. Here's your first one.
All
There
right,
you
Phil.
go. Oh, that's me. That's my card. Yeah. Okay. Good listener. What you're looking at is a 2009 Upper Deck Sidney Crosby buyback autograph. Obviously, it's a buyback. So there's only 87 of them because that's his jersey number, in case you didn't know. His beautiful autograph, which is a little bigger than it normally is later on in his career. So I enjoy the big, looser autograph. Just an action shot. I still haven't bought a buyback. I've introduced about 25 of them for cards I like and I want to buy. I don't have the balls to pull the trigger yet. I checked the hologram on the back. It does not populate on the Upper Deck hologram website thingy. So that I want that to populate. I think that's what's holding me back. But all in all, wicked card. I think it's only at like $88 right now. Very cheap. I'm not going for it, but you probably should. Let me live through you.
You
right.
went for it when Perchie buys it. It's fine.
Yeah. I don't know if Perchie likes buybacks. He's a smart shopper, that boy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, next card.
Wow.
Yeah, I went. So I'm not a big Officer Bob fan,
But
but come on, Stanley Cup champion twice over, red outburst. And I'd like to point something out about are older players that are appearing in these outburst cards. So Crosby, how many more years is he going to be an Upper Deck flagship to have an outburst card? Not many. Same with Officer Bob here. So to my savvy fellow hobbyists, maybe we should all start looking. I always screw myself talking like this, but we should start looking at older players that are about to retire I'm going to be picking up a lot of their red outbursts, and I would love to pick up a gold Crosby outburst, and I would pay out the wazoo for it because there's not going to be that many left. What, 2, 3, maybe 4,
unless
5?
Upper Deck goes all knee deep.
No. They will not do that because they have integrity, and if they don't, they will find some.
So will lose his mind.
It's not. Don't listen. You're not bigger than the hobby, even though you kind of are the hobby. Anyways, yeah, that's it. Those are my picks.
You're not screwing yourself, as you say. I think that's how.
Shooting myself in the foot. I believe
with saying retirement, I don't know where Bob is, but did I not just see that Florida took picked up a goalie from Columbus?
I think so. Probably backup. Yeah.
Never know.
I think Bob's got 2-3 years left at least.
Yeah, it's good. He's not a spring chicken. I'm talking about players that are at the end of their, like Claude Giroux. You're a Claude Giroux fan? Probably pick up some of his outbursts soon. He's not going to have a lot, right?
Fair. Good point. Want to highlight a couple of cards from our submitters here in the U.S. It's kind of wild that this card was coming back to Canada, maybe from the United States. You might be like, what? Seems a little random. Well, this is from the 1955 Parkhurst Quaker Oats set. So the 1955 Parkhurst set is very condition sensitive to begin with. It has the Jacques Plante rookie and the cards of the Montreal Forum. So it's our first probably building card that we've ever had. And would it shock you with like many days left in the auction to know this card's already at like $1,300? So I think it's very, very rare. And if you're a set builder, maybe registry guy where you would have this graded, they don't sell very often. A PSA 6 is actually the highest selling copy that went for $1,750 US in October 2024. So I love these like oddball cards that just have like crazy hobby chases that seem very random on face value.
Oh, absolutely. There's another hold on, QAKER. I just want to see if this one pops up really quick here because there was another one in here. We got a handful. It's not in there. Never mind. As you were. Well, there's I swear I saw it in the Slab Sharks auction, but the Maple Leafs. There was
it's not a Quaker Oats, it's a regular Parker, so it will be a little bit less value, but the Maple Leafs Garden is another one in there too. You're right.
Let's not one like Montreal Forum is that's a historic building. Yes.
Next card I want to highlight really quickly is a 2024 Upper Deck SPX Macklin Celebrini Blue Auto. It's a nice rookie auto from Celebrini. Like the card. That's out of 99. So go get that one. And then lastly, but not leastly, a 2020 SP Legends Signature Edition. Jerome again, all-time Future Watch auto out of 99. California Dave special here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to call Dave after the show today. Well, maybe tomorrow. We're going to have a divorce with our all-time Future Watches. Daddy needs money. So I'll be dumping a whole boatload after that Sanderson purchase I got. I'll be dumping all of mine except the Gretzky.
Maybe to Dave. Maybe offering him first refusal.
Yeah, I don't want to sell things to friends because they want a deal. I need top dollar. And I don't want Dave to pay top dollar.
I guess.
That
the reason.
Sorry, go ahead, man.
No, go ahead.
That jersey, Breezers, sock, uni, that looks awesome together.
Flames is tight, man. Flames is good.
Sick looking.
I love when they go with the black jersey. That's my favorite. The reason why so many Canadian and U.S. hockey card collectors are flocking to Slab Sharks. Phil, do your flocking impression. Thank you. To help sell their cards on eBay is because Slab Sharks makes your life amazing.
I don't know.
You made my life.
Phil's definitely not in the front of the line. He's catching draft in the back.
I just flew to Ottawa. Boy, my arms are tired.
My left shoulder I'd give out probably, but yeah, kind of tweaked it there.
Slapshot makes your life incredibly easy to sell your cards. They do it all. You have to literally worry about nothing. All you do is ship your cards into them in Canada or drop them off with your rep. Or if you're in America, you just ship them to us. And we got you from there. There's no worry or hassle for international shipping. We take care of it all. Plus, while you're living on Easy Street, your hockey cards will also be included in the biggest and bestest weekly hockey cards auction there is on Earth and beyond. I don't know if you guys knew that, but they've been certified as the best beyond Earth as well.
To infinity and beyond.
True. USA Hockey Card Collectors, check out the link in the show description to get your submission started. It's super fast and easy. And for complete consignment info, including payout rates, and everyone should check out slapsharks.com.
You should. And all you US peeps, thank you for sending your cards in. And as you continue to do so, remember United States Postal Service. That's who you want to use. UPS and FedEx, not shipping to PO boxes.
Someday we hope to rectify that. Yes.
Yep.
We had the most packages in our PO box yesterday. It was crazy.
Wow, they're just flying in, eh? Every day there's mail, I guess, right?
Yeah. And more.
Every day there's hockey cards you guys get to look at. Oh,
you got mail.
Yeah.
Hobby news.
Hobby news.
News from the hobby.
All right. We have a whole bunch of NHL transactions to recap quickly. Both trades and free agent signings. We'll start with trades. JJP. Phil's dream of him going to Ottawa was dashed when the Sabres traded him to the Utah Mammoth for forward Josh Doan and defenseman Michael Kesselring. Sorry, buddy.
He's good. Listen, everyone's making fun of Buffalo. I get why they did it. I'm bummed out that Ottawa didn't get him. I really thought we were in that.
Okay, so if this is what Utah gave in Doan and Kesselring,
yeah,
is there a package that you think would have been better than this from Ottawa that you would have been willing to give up for JJP?
No.
So so you have to concede a.
Yeah, no, I poop happens. We didn't get it. I'm not upset. I'm upset. I'm not angry, but there's not like they probably wanted like Shabbat, and they wanted a legitimate nothing to worry about D-man. That's what they need. I don't want to give that up. We need that. So
okay. Big pickup for Utah, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And they're racking up some talented forwards. JJP had 27 goals and 68 points in 77 games played last year in Buffalo. He's a 2021 Young Guns, PSA 10 pop 477, 68% gem rate. It's pretty high. Last sold for $68 on June 26th, up about 25% in the past month. So some excitement for JJP in Utah.
John Jason? Oh, I thought that was kind of anticlimactic. I thought it would have been really a lot cooler than that.
Well, that's why we go with
German. I thought it'd be like something I couldn't pronounce that I'd want to learn how to pronounce, but
Jermaine Johansson.
Yeah.
Johann Sebastian Bach Petrka.
There you go. That's what I wanted. Yeah.
We had another trade with the Islanders. Now that they have Matthew Schaefer, there's no need for Noah Dobson. Don't need him. Get rid of him. You're out of here. Traded him to
Very
Montreal.
different players. Very different players. I don't know if Dobson knows how to play defense.
The 25-year-old defenseman was traded to Hobby Mecca, Montreal, for Logan Mailloux, a first-rounder and a fourth-round pick. In 71 games played last season, Dobson had 10 goals and 39 points. Now, contract talks had stalled from an extension perspective between the Islanders and Dobson, and that was the catalyst for the trade. And it looks like with this deal that the Islanders are also kind of committing to their rebuild around Schaefer. The deal was a sign-in trade with Dobson agreeing to an 8-year deal with a $9.5 million average annual value.
Holy crap. I didn't even. Wow, that's a lot of money. Well, the cap's going up, right?
Sure.
Well, they're taking a chance. They're taking a flyer on them and hope it pans out for Montreal.
Not sure if Dobson and Hudson will be paired up since both are fairly offensive-minded. Probably not likely. Martin St. Louis might want to pair each of them with more of a shutdown partner. I'm sure there'll be some experimentation.
Josh, did you say $9.5 million at 8 years?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It blows my mind.
I would have been uncomfortable with that had he gone to as good of a player.
Yeah. Listen, it works out. It's worth every penny, right? wait a few years and see. I mean, it kind of makes Montreal scary right off the bat, but
You can be in trouble. Like that can be really painful. Like 5 years from now, if he's not great and you're locked in.
or it can be a steal, right? We gave
Yeah.
Paterson a big contract a few years ago, and now it's teeny tiny and it's worth every penny, right?
Sure.
Yeah, this Minnesota Wild team did that with a couple guys too, and
Yeah, for 14 years.
Yeah,
Did you see in the news
now? It's off your books now.
Yeah, finally. Did you see in the new CBA that 7 years is the max contract length going forward? I think that's good for fans.
84 games. You see that? Like we should have less games. There should be 70 games. Start the season earlier. Oh no, then we're not going to make millions on my millions for the TV deals. It's turning into
keep
basketball.
Adding teams too, so they need more games to.
Bad autographs, more games. It's getting individualized.
Oh, do we need to pause? Should we pause the show so everyone can rush their Noah Dobson cards to Slab Sharks?
Oh, they're probably already going. Yeah. Quebecers are going to go kooky.
Yeah, Cole be a good.
Who's Cole Caulfield? Is he still on our team? Whatever. Noah Dobson.
Who's our captain?
Yeah, exactly. Nick something or other.
Yeah.
Nick Yamaha?
Yeah.
Nick Yamaha. Josh, that was really good. That was good. Yeah, not bad.
Noah Dobson is a 2019 Young Guns PSA 10 pop, just 191. Very low pop. 46% gem rate, less so for 120 US on June 27th. Now, had you bought it on March 27th, you would have paid $32. So if you ever wondered why Montreal is Montreal, that's all you need to know.
Yep.
$27 to 120. Or $32 to 120. Welcome to Montreal.
Right.
Next trade, Edmonton dumped Evander Kane off on the Canucks for a 4th-round pick. Looks like mainly a salary cap move to create some flexibility to sign Evan Bouchard, or I don't know if they get like crazy a goalie, maybe. I don't know. That'd be weird. The only thing why I wanted to bring this one up is I wonder if his meltdown at the end of the Cup Finals had what percentage of the reason was that? Did they usually okay, we just got to get rid of this guy, or maybe they had decided to beforehand? But
I think a big. Sorry, go ahead, Louis.
Oh, I was just saying, whack-a-mole kind of. They look down on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think the bigger question is, what's Vancouver doing asking about Evander Kane? They kind of need to stay away from that. They're just anyway. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe he was
still there that he would have wanted this. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know who wants this.
This was a shock.
Vancouver's I don't know, too much sun over there. I don't know what's going on.
Then we got a couple of free agent signings we need to cover quickly. John Tavares re-signed with the Leafs. Not a giant surprise there. He was pretty decent last season with 38 goals and 74 points and 75 games played.
Yeah, not
Took
bad.
a big pay cut.
But I want Phil, I want you in on this, though. I mean, you were, I think it was you. Sorry if it wasn't, but weren't you always saying, where's Tavares? Tavares has disappeared, right? On Toronto?
Not last year. Not last year. I would say Tavares had a great year last year. Maybe before. I said that probably, but I definitely wouldn't have said that last year. I'm a huge fan of John Tavares now for what he just did. I think he needs to get more credit for what he just did. Took a big discount to stay and to see something through, if possible.
Gave up the C.
That does not exist in our world anymore. That does not. John Tavares has my utmost respect. He's still an enemy, but he has. If I didn't have a lot of respect for him before, which I did, it's solidified now. Top tier human, good man.
Maybe he got lost.
I was just gonna say a lot of humility to turn in the C and then take a half of a pay cut, like half.
That's and he won't get as much credit for that. Austin Matthews will get more credit for some handbag he bought than over John Tavares getting the hometown discount. Very proud of you, John. Good job, man.
That's good on him.
Mm-hmm. He's only 6 goals away from 500.
Oh, it's big feat. Big 500 club's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing, the only reason why nothing that you guys have said, I think is wrong. But don't you feel though that the Leafs just need to make changes? I know that Marner's going to be gone, and that's a pretty seismic change to your lineup.
Big one.
But I don't know if like running it back is a good strategy at this point for the Maple Leafs. And so that's like, and I don't know if Tavares, I mean, it's such a good deal. It would be hard not to bring him back at that level. But if
I
I'm
think
a Leafs fan, I don't want the same to feel like it's the same team
that-
coming back.
I think they have Lawton. They picked up Lawton at the trade deadline.
Mhm.
So he's your I don't know their lines, but John's their second line center. So I'm assuming they're going to drop him to the third line center, and then they're probably going to put Lawton on the fourth. That's not a bad third, fourth line, two centers.
Sure.
Scott Lawton on your fourth, John Tavares on your third. I understand what you're saying, but I think they're bringing it back with a different formula or same. I don't have the vocabulary for this. They're bringing it back same, but different. There you go. Yeah, same, but different.
JT is a 2009 Young Guns PSA 10 pop 272, 33% gem rate, less over $198 on May 6th, down 5% in the past 3 months, down 10% in the past 6 months. I think I've always thought this is a nice looking Young Guns card. Just kind of the whole little bit of a color match going on.
Yeah.
Lastly, Sam Bennett resigns with Florida. Speaking of running it back, Bennett re-upped for 8 years with the two-time Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. He's a 29-year-old Conn Smythe winner. Had a career-high 51 points this season. Did lead all skaters with 15 goals this playoff run.
Whoa.
Contract is $64 million, so $8 million average annual value. But this is where the whole Florida no tax thing comes into play.
Oh, Jesus.
It's basically the equivalent of being like paid $10 million by Toronto.
That's cool.
From what I understand, right? So, I mean, that's a little, that's why he's able to resign because it seems under market value to me at.
Okay. I 8-10 million. I don't know. I can't get in the mindsets that squeeze that makes no.
Yeah, for a guy that
no
makes like
difference
50
in my
million
life.
like you, this peanut money is just.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. I can't get in the headspace of that. That's why I don't care too much about the business side of sports.
Sure.
I can't. Oh, he signed like we lost some Sens players for like $700,000 in 2014. $700,000. You like that? You're a loser. But maybe he's not a loser. I just can't get in that mindset.
The reason to care would be the card cap, right? Is that if you sign, so if like the whole Marner thing, right? In theory, wouldn't mind having him on the Wild, but for 14 million, probably not, because that just means that there's a really good player that you can't sign.
Yeah,
because he makes the amount of money that two really good players make.
I think having a good GM now has never been more important. They got to be wizards, mathematicians. They got to have good people around them. It's difficult. I think Stanley, Florida winning the cup 2 years in a row is incredible, right? It's just that's a hard feat to do. So congrats to Bill Zito. Are the GM's names on the cups? Yeah, eh? Yeah, good. Well deserved on Bill.
We also had Hall of Fame inductees announced this weekend.
Hold on. Time out.
Oh, what?
Time out. Did you get into that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Sam Bennett is a 2015 Young Gun, PSA 10 pop 163, 58% gem rate, last sold for $170 US on June 22nd, up just 240% in the past 3 months, up 113% in the past year. Pick out the 52-week low and high on this card. The 52-week low on a Sam Bennett Young Guns PSA 10 is $25, and this was the 52-week high.
Wow.
He's got a one-of-one Panini Shield patch in the Slab Sharks auction this week too. If anyone's a big Bennett fan.
I got another one to touch on. We didn't put it in there. I mean, Bill, he just got a new goalie not too long ago. But what do you think about the Mrazek Gibson swap?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it. I like John Gibson. He's a gamer. I like old goalies. We'll see. I'm curious to see how that plays out.
Who went where?
Josh.
Mrazek.
Well, just for people that don't know.
So Mrazek went to Anaheim and Gibson went to Detroit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. Fresh start for both goalies. That's usually why they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Hossa for Heatley. Heatley for Hossa. Fresh start for both.
How'd that work out?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about the Hall of Fame. This past week, the Hockey Hall of Fame announced the 2025 inductees at a later date, I guess, to appear on the Get to Know Your Hall of Famers series. We had 6 total players that will be inducted this year. 2 female players, Jennifer Botterill from Canada. Is that did I say it right?
Yes. She's awesome.
Okay. A 3-time Olympic gold medalist for Team Canada, a 5-time IIHF world champion.
Look at her
with gold
record.
medals.
She should have been inducted first year. This might have been her first year, but
Mm-hmm. And then a U.S. female hockey player, Brianna Decker, a 1-time Olympic gold medalist for Team USA and a 6-time IIHF world champion gold medalist as well. So congratulations to them. Then we had 4 former NHLers receive their call to the Hall. We'll start with Duncan Keith, 3-time Stanley Cup champion with the Blackhawks, 2-time Norris Trophy winner, 2-time first All-Star team selection, won the Conn Smythe in 2015. And his 2005 Young Guns PSA 10 Pop 262, 52% gem rate, last sold for $234 US on June 24th, up 66% in the past 3 months, up 47% in the past 6 months. So what hit me in looking up this card is that, so we have a guy, Duncan Keith, who is a 2005 rookie, as well as Crosby and Ovechkin, who are still playing. And Duncan Keith has had a Hall of Fame career, has waited out the 5-year waiting period, and is now in the Hall of Fame. And Crosby and Ovi are still going.
I love it. Powerhouse says, "Attaboy Crosby, attaboy Ovi."
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I love Duncan Keith. He was great. Great.
Another defenseman going to the Hall of Fame, Zdeno Chara.
About time.
1,680 games played, the most by a defenseman in NHL history. He's a 1-time Stanley Cup champion, Norris Trophy winner in 2009, the longest serving captain in Bruins history from 2006 to 2020. Also the tallest player in the history of the NHL, 6'9". Chara's key rookie is the 1997 SP Authentic Future Watch, Pop 16. Just, have you ever seen this card?
Of course. My sense,
Oh.
I broke my heart when we lost Big Z. I knew what he was going to become. Yeah.
Last sale was May of 2023 for $3,333 US.
He's awesome. I love Char. He should have won the Lady Byng. I heard a good take last week. He should have won the Lady Byng every single year he ever played hockey in the NHL. He could murder anybody. Donald Brashear, no chance. Sure, you have a chance. You have a fighter's chance, but everyone does. Zdeno Chara took Brian McCabe and with one hand and lifted him off the ground and ragdolled him. That term ragdoll has lost all its meaning. People, I mean, words have all lost their meaning. But where I come from, a ragdoll means you grab another man's clothing and you have your way with him and do whatever you want. That's a ragdoll. And I've never look up Zdeno Chara on Brian McCabe. Chara was a very special hockey player, very driven man. Awesome. I hope he comes out with a biography. I'd love to read it.
Next, we had Joe Thornton, whose 1,714 NHL games played is the 6th most all time. His 1,539 points is the 12th most all time. He had 430 goals, 1,109 assists. Won the Hart and Art Ross trophies in 2006. Was the first overall draft pick by the Bruins in 1997. Served as the Sharks captain from 2010 to 2014. Never won a cup, but did make it to the finals in 2016. And did win an Olympic gold medal with Team Canada in 2010. Now, his key rookie card is the 1996 Black Diamond gold out of 50.
Oh, where you know that?
Really? Pictured in Team Canada. Sweater. The PSA 10 Pop is just 5. Last sale was April of this year for $4,680 US.
Wow. Is that the highest Black Diamond card sold ever?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Must be. What else would it be?
Sad that Joe Thornton's rookie is not in an NHL sweater.
Mid to late 90s was a tough.
Got weird.
The kitchen table was thrown up in the air and we didn't know how things were going to land, so I was trying to figure it. Jeremy Lee calls it the creative era. I think that's a good nod to it.
They're coloring a lot at Upper Deck, you're saying?
Yeah, they should. I don't know. I'm saying they should be. There should be a lot more coloring at Upper Deck. Loosen the tie.
Well, the NHL should be coloring a lot more, waiting so long for this next guy.
Oh, save the best for last, in my opinion. Finally,
Yeah.
Alexander Mogilny is in the Hockey Hall of Fame. I think in most people's minds, you guys argue with me if you think I'm wrong, he's been long regarded as the biggest Hall of Fame snub.
He's up. Yep.
Mogilny was the first Russian player to defect to the NHL in 1989 and paved the way for many future Russian stars to play in North America. He had a 76-goal season in 1992-93, won the Stanley Cup with Baba Louie's New Jersey Devils in 2000.
Yep.
The first Russian NHL captain in the history of the league.
I did not know that. Wow. Oh, that's huge.
Played 990 games, scored 473 goals, added 559 assists for 1,032 points. Now, this isn't a math show, but I think that makes him more than a point per game player in his career. And his key rookie is a little bit debatable, but I would say it's the 1990 O-Pee-Chee Premier. That's sort of my default on these.
Yeah.
PSA 10 pop is $6.98, which isn't that bad for junk wax era.
Mm-hmm.
Last sale was $73 American on June 24th.
Beautiful card.
I have a question
Have
for the esteemed panel named Louie and Phil. Now that Mogilny is in, who carries the mantle for biggest Hall of Fame snub? I'm going to give you some choices. Papa Walt, Keith Tkachuk, Cujo, Curtis Joseph, Theo Fleury, Rod the Bod, Rod Brindamore, Vincent Damphus with 1,200 points, by the way.
Yeah. What? He's not in? Interesting.
Peter Bondra, Patrick Elias, Pekka Rinne. Anyone else? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Oh, you got to draw the line somewhere. First of all, Theoren Fleury's never getting in the Hall of Fame as long as Brian Burke's on the panel. I'll tell you that right now, whether you agree with it or not. That is not happening, flat out. I don't even, I'd like Theoren Fleury in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if he deserves to be. Those other players are all top-notch, top tier, but I'd have to really dig into it. And Hall of Fame needs to have very, very few people in it, right? There needs to be a lot more not in it. It doesn't feel that way all the time.
Well, if you want it to be the Hall of Great, not just the Hall of Good, you have to have players that kind of chap your bum that aren't in it, right? That you feel like, dang.
I think you named all the players that chap my bum, like Chris Osgood. I heard that one the other day. I heard great arguments to put him in. I heard great arguments not to put him in. And I think it's kind of like tie goes to the runner or tie does not go to the runner. Like in baseball, they say, I think if it's kind of a tie, you shouldn't be in. You need to be kind of like a no-brainer. That to me is Hall of Fame material, right? Alexander Mogilny was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And that broke a lot of people's brains why he wasn't in. Phil Housley's in. It's a bit confusing.
Yeah. I love how random your hatred of Phil Housley feels. It's just St. Paul's own Phil Housley. Baba Louie, who do you think? Who's your biggest snub presently?
Oh, well, I'll go off your list. I don't mean to go Homer on it, but I think Elias is got to be close.
That's pretty Homer, dude.
Well, no, it's
pretty
not.
Homer.
Yeah, he's
no,
good.
You go look at the crap that he pulled off and stuff. He deserves to be
pulled off a lot of crap.
Mm-hmm.
Good discussion. Paterson, who had the opportunity to catch up with after his venture into New York City last week for Fanatics Fest, wanted to get his impressions and review of the event. And then plus, as Grant always does, he went out and bought some monster collections. So here's that conversation and more with GP Sports Cards Grant Paterson. Fresh off the boat from his trip to America, we have Grant Paterson from GP Sports Cards back on the show. Hey, Grant, how's it going?
Good, Josh. Yourself?
I'm doing well. Oh, wait a minute. Phil has a question.
Is it weird that I've developed emotional feelings for my cat? You're not good. Okay.
Oh, this is about. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
fail.
you can maybe text Phil your feelings on that. afterwards, but
You didn't wait 3 hours, eh? You just couldn't do it? That's bizarre. Careful, Josh. I don't lose those games. Careful.
Okay, Grant, you were at Fanatics Fest last week and gallivanting all across the United States, gobbling up many hockey cards. So maybe let's just start like from a big picture perspective. Well, first of all, were you at the first Fanatics Fest?
Yes, yeah. Last year we went to Fanatics Fest for the first one ever. It was a crazy show again. Set up there, and this year was like way bigger, way better. So
Really? So it was a big difference between year one and year two?
yeah, like, and also I'm speaking from the factor of like, the events and the fun things that they have going on. Let me make that apparent, not from the card show side. Like the card show is what it was, but it wasn't as crazy, especially for hockey fans. That's one thing that I wanted to mention. Like there was no hockey represented at all, pretty much. So
Was that a good thing for you in a weird way? Because any hockey fan made you quite the attraction, I would assume then.
yeah, so it works both ways. I mean, obviously, I'd love a show where there's a ton of hockey booths where we can go and buy and transact with them. But also at the same time, obviously, like being one of the only hockey booths, people come to us, and then we have the cards that they're looking for. So also from a buying perspective, makes it pretty unique and better on that end because most of the cards will come our way. But typically, like if I had my way, I'd love to see way more hockey at these shows represented. But I get it; it's super expensive to set up, and we're at Fanatics Fest, which is a tops baseball and football, basketball. That's their home field, so we're sort of like a fish out of water with hockey, but trying to represent it more and more at the U.S. shows.
Okay, so well, when it comes to the card show part, then comparing it to the first Fanatics Fest, like same, better, or worse?
I would say it was better. Like again, like from a perspective of like if you have football, basketball, baseball, like I brought probably like 40 cards of the multi-sport, not hockey, and they sold within like the first 7 hours. It's just
Wow.
insane. And it's like
That's crazy.
90%. Like a lot of repackers go to this show. So from a selling perspective, it is just on the same level as like the national for if you're wanting to sell your cards. The same buyers at the national are going to be there. But from like the amount of booths set up and that sort of thing, it was very similar to the first year. But the venue changed a little bit, which I thought was a nicer. Cards were more so in like the center of the attention. So it was a cool event. I'm biased because like we picked up some cool collections and dealt with some big collectors. So like to me, it's like one of my favorite shows of the year every time because we built those relationships. Yeah, from like a hockey perspective, definitely lacking on the show. But I mean that's every U.S. show as a whole. From the hockey side.
Is it mostly like it's baseball, right? I know football and basketball a lot. But is majority of card collectors in the States a baseball thing? Or it's just everything?
I would say it's pretty split between like football, basketball, and baseball. Like there's a good mix of all three of those. And then like there was a ton of like WWE wrestling, like it like legitimately like hockey was probably the most like underrepresented sport. Even soccer was bigger.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So
Well, even in Minnesota, there's barely hockey cards at shows, which is weird because we're supposed to be the state of hockey. Well, I think the WWE was a huge focus this year because they just acquired Fanatics, just acquired that brand, and that they were going sort of all out on it.
Yeah, they had like a huge wrestling. Like even last year was a crazy like event space for WWE where you could walk out and like you get your own personal like WWE walkout, which is crazy and fun. And like they also represented hockey too. Like there's one of those shooter pad things and that sort of thing. But like in terms of the card wise, yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, I saw DJ Khalid or Khalid there. Dude, that was bad. Yeah,
yeah.
It's crazy how many people don't have. I mean, well, they've never grabbed a hockey stick. You wouldn't know how to do the thing, I guess. But it's pretty awkward to watch other people try to do the thing.
Well, I would guess the percentage of people that were born and raised in the southern U.S. that have ice skated is very low.
Just the fact that you said ice skated is odd to me. Like we say hockey, we don't say ice hockey. No, well, it just shows you, right? And you live in Minnesota. It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, I did that for you, but okay. So I imagine though, because not only is there not typically the good quantity of hockey cards here. There's very rarely even quality. So did you get a lot of feedback from American collectors, like actually getting to see some cards that kind of like our experience going to the expo for the first time? It's like, holy crap, there's good cards in hockey. You get
Yeah.
back about like in that
Like
regard.
it's a real Gretzky rookie. Oh my God. Like, I've never seen that. And you're like, quiet,
Yeah,
quiet.
like Fanatics Fest, like for what I set up, especially like going over the border. Obviously got to be like careful and all that good stuff. I bring like super rare and selective pieces for this show. To me, it's one of those shows where it's a different clientele than you're used to at a normal show. So I'm bringing more of like my grail pieces or like super unique and rare items of these top guys. And like for me, for this Fanatics Fest, like I think I sold like 6 cards the whole show, but like it ended up being like more sales than my whole Toronto Expo combined. Like
Oh, wow.
it's like
That's great.
it's items like those that like move at these shows. It's just a different clientele and like customer base. Obviously, being in New York City, it's like it's rare. And also like having the booth, like it is expensive to set up there. I believe it was like 5,500 Canadian. So like you have to bring some heavy hitters to get, make it worthwhile.
An ROI.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it hard to get a table or booth there?
For our situation, we were set up on the first year, so we sort of took that leap of faith and like trusted the show. So from our end, it was easy. But I don't know from other people's perspective. That's why like the first year I went, nobody knew really what it was going to be, but I was like, I do not want to miss out on this opportunity, and I don't want to sort of like not set up at the first one and then not be able to get in, just like like nationals and the other big shows. Like it's sort of like a legacy thing to get a booth. So that's why we went to the first one and took that chance.
How was attendance? A lot of attendance?
Yeah, like insane the amount of people walking by. It's cool too. Like every 30 minutes or an hour, you'll just see like a huge line of people chasing after somebody with security. It's like there's just random celebrities walking by. We're like, oh, who was that? Who was that? Like, and like our cool thing about our booth is like we were right on a corner towards the back, but it actually worked out pretty well because the stage of like Cold as Balls, which is Kevin Hart's interview show, was like right on the corner. They were like 20 feet away from us, and there was like Tom Brady, like CD, all these athletes, DJ Khaled, all those guys were on that stage. So it was a huge crowd in front of our booth.
Well, he did it with Wemby, didn't he?
Yeah, Wemby. He did like I think it was like 8 episodes or something. It was insane. Like, and like also like doing deals right in front of that. Like in the background is Kevin Hart and Tom Brady and like Wembanyama. It's like it's insane. It's a completely different like aspect to a show that you'll ever see.
Did you actually see Kevin Hart and Wemby standing next to each other?
No, I did not. That would have been crazy. That would have been crazy. I was like focused on the card side, but like I from like a perspective of like going there as a fan, like I've seen so many like cool pictures and that sort of stuff where it's like really, really cool event that they put on.
Did you
Well, I'm
bring
sure you guys have
Emmanuel?
seen the photo. Oh, sorry, Phil. Just one more follow up on that. But you guys saw the photos when at the beginning of last season when Bedard did the photo shoot with Wemby, right? And just like the difference in their height, how crazy it was.
I didn't see that, but that like I can imagine like Wembanyama, like what is he 7'2" or something? 7'4". That's insane.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right, Phil, you need to ask more about your cat, or you got another question?
No, I don't remember. No, I'm sure you'll play it 100 times and kill the joke 95 more times than you should, but go ahead. It's on
what
you.
I do. That's what I do.
Until someone leaves a comment, then you get weird and then you stop. Go ahead.
Oh, you have Phil has bad internet. Sorry, he's not on the internet. Okay. Not only were you set up and had some cards, there's also a lot of action going down at Fanatics Fest regarding this card. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Phil. It's the Cup Connor Bedard NHL Shield Rookie Auto 101 that GP Sports Cards pulled, 3 weeks ago now, maybe?
Yeah, like 2.5 weeks ago or so.
Okay. So how did this card fit into the whole experience in New York?
It was really cool. It was like this was like the first card I've experienced where it reached the audience of all the other sports. Like you had collectors of like basketball, football, everyone stop by the booth and be like, "Oh my God, there it is!" Like it was really cool on that end to see how many like people this reached and how significant the card was. It was my first experience with a hockey card in the past like years doing that. So it was really, really cool. Had the pleasure of getting this graded for the owner, and then he ended up flying in and picking up the card on day 2 of the show. So really
nice.
cool process. Brad from PSA Canada made it happen. He ended up flying. He wasn't even going to come to the show, and I was like calling him. I'm like, look, can we make this
Give him
happen?
the reason. Oh, I gotta go. I have to go now. Yeah.
So Brad met us at the hotel. He's like, don't worry, I'll get everything situated for you. He came, took all 3 of the cards, and like went over to the PSA facility in New Jersey, made the trip, and we had him back the same day. It was pretty surreal. So
Wow, that's incredible.
yeah.
I'm gonna ask, and you can say if you can't tell, but what does it cost to get a card like this graded? Do you have that? Are you curious about that too, Phil?
Extremely.
So like the hard part is determining the value. Like if you ask 10 different people, the ballpark is going to be a completely different number. And that's sort of like what they would base it off is the value of the card, whether it's 100,000, 200, 300,000, that's where you would get feed on that. Obviously PSA helped us a little bit on this one because I think there was more significance to this card being like the biggest hockey card of the decade. So there was still quite a big fee that we had to pay on the card, but it was not as big as it usually would be for a card of this value.
Is that like a 4-figure fee, a 5-figure fee? Just like I just want some sort of
It
general.
was definitely 4 figures. It would typically be a 5-figure fee for this card if we didn't have like the connection and obviously the exposure on the card for the brand of PSA. But it was nowhere near that 5-figure mark because of that. So yeah, it worked out. I checked with the buyer and he was happy. Like I told him his options, right? Like he could have went to like a Beckett or another grading company and it would have been $100. So
I would have done SGC. I mean, I know it's PSA as well, but
so
I
he,
would have
he was happy with the price, and I
Okay.
also like told him I think it gets the most eye appeal and value in a PSA holder, in my opinion.
There was a lot of comments, and rightfully so, of people that, yeah, I mean, none of us ever really hit a card like this. And so, can you explain the strategy behind why you would go like the authentic auto grade route versus having the card, uh, you know, graded, getting a numerical grade on the card itself? And because a lot of people say, well, why not just keep it raw? And I know that there's other advantages to getting like with the insurance and stuff like that to getting the card uh, authenticated by PSA.
Yeah, so from that perspective, like for myself, for when I hunt cards for my PC, I mean, even myself, like some of the higher value cards I have put in like slabs and holders, just from the perspective of like if I ever want to bring that card out, I don't want to like drop the card or something crazy. Like I just want to have it slabbed and so it's safe. But most of my PC is not graded. But I'm also like never looking to sell those cards. So from the perspective of like if you're ever looking to move like a grail card like this, most of the big auction companies require it to be graded or authenticated. So from that perspective, I wanted to make sure that Howard had that option. And also like, just authenticating the card and slabbing it up, I think is the best option for most high-end cards. That's why you see like 99% of those items and these big cards are all in graded holders or slabs, just for security and safety. The reason we went with authentic, obviously, we had like a min grade that we wanted it to hit. If it didn't hit that, then we were going to go authentic. And then with the autograph 10. So the autograph was the same thing where it's like if the autograph didn't get a 10 grade, we were going to just put it completely authentic. So from the perspective of grading a 1 of 1, like at the end of the day, the grade doesn't determine too much or factor much. Like obviously if you get a PSA 10 or a PSA 9, like that's a really nice grade on a thick card, but cup is very hard to do that. And that's why you see such a big premium when those grades do come out for those cards. But from this perspective, if it didn't hit our min grade, we just wanted to authenticate it and slide it up.
I also, you correct me if I'm wrong in this because you would know better than me, but from what I understand too, that like this card was pulled in a very public way. You were on YouTube live, and so everyone saw it. But in another potential scenario, like if you were at Fanatics Fest and the person wasn't an Instagram person or anything like that, and they walked up to your booth with this card and they said, "Hey, Grant, you want to buy this?" You would, and because a card like this value can be faked, right? And so having it in the PSA slab, doesn't it give you where you could call PSA and talk to them and say, hey, you guys really graded and authenticated this card, right? As a potential buyer, I would think you would almost demand that peace of mind.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's why like the big companies, like all the auction companies, have the prerequisite where the card has to be slabbed or at least authenticated in one of those custom holders. And for a card of this magnitude, I would for sure, like if someone walked up, I mean, I wouldn't question if the card was real. Like there's a lot of tells that you can have. Obviously, like if a fake looks too good to be true, also like. We've experienced that recently with some NT. There's a big Kobe Bryant NT card that I was looking at recently. That was like a $10,000 card. And then I checked with a few experts and made sure like it was a fake, but it was a very good fake. Like it had like
it was a fake.
It was, and it had like
Grant, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it had 40% of the people like on the fence whether it was good or not.
But you have a network of people you can call. Maybe the average collector does not, right?
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, and this is a big magnitude card where it's like, I would tell anybody in that situation, if someone walks up to your booth with this card and wants $5,000, like, are you kidding me? Like, be safe. So, from that end, it's always better just slab it up, authenticate it. And a card of this magnitude deserves to be in a slab.
So to further the conversation, let's say that Kobe Bryant, we'll use that, not this beautiful Bedard here, this Bedsy. Let's say you bought that Kobe Bryant card for $10,000 and it was graded a PSA 8. Okay, then you found out it's fake. So that PSA graded card, which if a card's graded, it's authenticated, I'm assuming. What's the next step, right? So some PSA made a mistake, you made a mistake, we have to rectify the mistake. What is the insurance on that card? What happens? Do you get $10,000 from PSA and then they burn the label? Josh or Grant, I don't know. Like what that safety of insurance of them authenticating it. Yeah. What happens what's the next spot? We're like, what happens? Do you contact them and say?
I'm pretty sure PSA, like when they put in that holder, is like they're the expert. They're
assuming the responsibility of the cost of the card.
Yeah, so I would say, Phil, like that's not Grant's mistake. When you're buying a card that's been authenticated by PSA,
right?
You're buying their trust, and this is why they say, and I don't want to get in the debate because we should do it.
No, I'm saying money.
But this is why they say they do the upcharges.
I understand.
That's the purpose of the upcharge.
Can we go through the steps though? So if it's where is the value that it's deemed? Is it when they authenticated the card? Do you get a check from PSA to like, let's say this card was faked and they authenticated it and it sells for $200,000. Oh no, the Bedsy was fake, right? See, I'm not trying to use that card. What happens now?
I think PSA gives you $200,000. I mean, we'd have to have Brad confirm that, but I think, from my understanding, that is what happens. And again, goes back to their justification, whatever our opinion of that is. And
you keep going somewhere. I'm not interested.
That would seem like crazy confusing though, because like again, they're the end expert. So it's like you need another complete expert to like look at the card. Like who's going to be better than authenticating than PSA?
So that I'm going to a good place. I'm saying, then why wouldn't you, instead of grading your card, any card over $1,000, I'd probably authenticate if I'm going to sell it. That's great. Like, you know what I mean? That's a fantastic service.
I think that's the point, and it gets back to that original question that a lot of people had. Why the heck would you just authenticate this card? Because anyone who buys it that would spend this amount of money is going to want that peace of mind that protection, that a third-party entity, PSA, is authenticating the card as accurate. And, despite and their authentication comes with a financial backing.
Bingo. That's the sell. That's how you that's the sell to me. That's awesome. That's a very big positive to focus on.
And Brad, if you're listening and you need to correct anything, I mean, we're and even Grant, I mean, I doubt you've been in this scenario, but so please chime in the comments, or he can come back on and clarify anything he needs to, or somebody that's just listening might know too. But even a better example that other than this Bedard Shield that was pulled live on stream. So again, there's very good provenance around that. A better hockey example would be, let's say the Gold Outburst 101 showed up at your table where nobody's seen that card in a year, and it's sitting in a top loader. Do you feel, and again, when a card that once had $1 million bounty on it, it's not worth that now, we know, but you could spend $2,000-$3,000 to make a fake of that card, and you'll probably get pretty close, as much as I absolutely hate to say that. And so again, that's where I think the reason why people go the route of doing this sort of process, authenticating a card to get that third party, the grade doesn't matter. It's the fact that the card is deemed authentic.
That's a new. I'm trying to swim in a new ocean right now that is of grading companies, and I think I found it. Authenticating a card, if they assume the responsibility, I can really get behind that new culture. I don't really want to get behind grading culture. So how can I get involved in this whole slab party that the whole hobby's having? Authenticating cards is a very good positive thing in a world of crap where everyone's faking everything and freaking most personalities are fake. But that I can get behind. So if a new culture can get developed with authentication companies and they assume there is financial responsibility, I can get behind that culture. So, and I think there's others listening that would be that we know lots of people that don't like grading. Well, PSA is providing a really good service by authenticating multi-$100,000 cards. We need that. We need that in the hobby. So good.
Well, didn't the last time we had Brad on, he talked about a Pokemon example where there were cards that were fake but were graded by or authenticated by PSA, and they paid out on them. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he said that right on our show, but we're kind of wading in waters right now that we're not experts in. So
no,
we'll move on. Okay, so the owner picks the card up. Do you have any idea what he plans to do with this card, or if that's been made public yet?
He's keeping it. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to
it. I do believe he's going to be keeping it. It's one of those things where he contemplated it. And like again, the numbers that were coming out of the woodworks were high. It's just I think he believes in Bedard and the future of the Chicago Blackhawks. So he's I think he's going to keep it for sure until the National. I mean, the National is the show in Chicago this year. So I think he's going to put the card at our booth there, or either at like a big auction company just to sort of display it and sort of see if it comes his way. And yeah, it's awesome to see it. I mean, it's like there's two sides of it. Everyone's going to say auction the card right now and get the most that you can with all the hype and exposure. But I mean, again, if you believe in Bedard and he pans out, time will tell, right? So
if he has 40 goals next year, a year from now, that could be a wise choice. If he has 17 goals next year, then it's a poor. I mean, that's just the way you're betting, and you can never know. And we've had lately on the show conversations around prospecting, right? Yes. That this is why I tend to lean towards like Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky and Patrick Waugh. Yeah. I don't have to worry about how many goals they're going to score next season.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. If you look at like my collection and most of the cards I deal and specialize in, obviously I do the young guns and all that stuff, but that's a quick turnaround for me versus the other stuff, which I don't mind keeping, and that's what I truly love. Even Bedard, like again, it's a big bet. He has the hype and exposure that we've never seen before from the NHL and that marketing side. So it'll be interesting to see. But say, Gavin McKenna comes up and he steals all the hype and spotlight.
Yeah.
Just a year and a half. So you really got to be like top of the top for a prospect nowadays to get that love.
100%. We got another photo too. Betsy was in New York. Oh,
that's a great picture. Is that your hand, Grant? That's your hand. I can tell.
It is my hand.
Be a hand model, Grant. Don't iron.
What? Don't iron. Gotcha. Yeah, like George Costanza. Just get yourself some isotoners. You're good to go.
There we go. Well, this was not so you mentioned that PSA and Brad helped you get a couple cards graded, and we haven't even talked about this yet. So have been on quite the heater lately, where
Oh yeah,
you can't stop, won't stop
totally
pulling
forgot
Connor
this, yeah.
Bedard Cup 101s. So what was the story behind this one?
Yeah, that was a cool one. That was from a $115 spot in one of our cup
Get
breaks.
out of here! It's always
Yeah.
like that.
$115 spot, one of one. That's the rookie gear. So we got that one slabbed up for the owner, and that's actually going to be hitting auction this week with Slab Sharks. So
Nice.
well, we'll see how that one goes. Again, just crazy from $115 spot to potentially, 5 figures plus. So it's going to be interesting to see where that one goes.
Yeah, this is a little trickier one because it's a cup. It's a 101.
Yeah.
It's got a really good patch on the bottom, and but it's not a limited logos, or it's not like the top kind of subset brand. So
Yeah.
hard to peg where this one would go.
I actually had like the debate with a few guys that came up to the booth, like again in New York City. It was cool. Like you saw a different collector base and clientele. And so like there was some absolute monster Bedard collectors who came up to the booth. I was surprised
Really,
how much love there was for Bedard at this show, and big collectors who were willing to pay big dollars. And sort of like I had that debate with a few of them on the perspective of like this in comparison to like a true 99 or out of 12 gold or that sort of thing. Obviously, those are the iconic game used set. So from the product, so it's a little different, but even like, some subsets, the limited logos, that sort of thing. Like my perspective on like collecting is I love like the 101s. Like I value them so much more. And so like, I would say like, for example, for McDavid, like when's the last time you've seen a McDavid rookie cup 101 come available? But you do see the 99 surface.
That's
You
a
do
good
see
point,
some of the
actually.
other ones. So I like, as myself as a collector, if I was going to collect a player like Bedard, Lemieux, those type of guys, my collection's built off 101s because of the rarity and scarcity. I've always had that, like the mindset that like I'm not going to let the market determine my card value. If it's a 101,
Attaboy. I like it.
There you go.
Two-part question, Grant.
Yeah.
First, you don't have to answer this first. First, are the Americans at the American shows more aggressive, like their stereotype? They like bigger and louder, and so like a bunch of fills, and they're like, "Yeah, how's it going there?" And then, well, yeah, you can answer that. I'm just, is it like the expo, or is it totally different? Like, is there a
No,
culture
I found it was like the opposite. Like they were very like,
really?
yeah, respective. Like even one negotiation that I was doing with a customer, like he had like a crazy PC, and like he was like hesitant to like make me an offer. I'm like, just like, there's my price, just make me an offer. You're not going to insult me. And he made an offer. I was like, yeah, we're good.
Oh,
like,
nice. Okay.
So
refreshing.
yeah, it was a good show on that end from like respect wise and offers.
That was more a slight to Josh. Second question. You don't have to answer this. Did you kind of maybe throw him an offer for the 101?
Oh, I was going to ask that. Yeah, you do have to answer it.
Okay.
Oh, that no, absolutely not. Like,
okay.
So like, there's two sides. Like on a card like that, first of all, like if it was a legend or a Hall of Famer, I'd be all over it. Like the only time I'm gonna make an offer on a card that size with a customer who pulled it is if I know 100% I'm the top buyer. So like if we pull a Crosby 101 or a Lemieux or a Legend 101, like I'll make an offer all the time because I know I'm gonna pay top dollar. On that card, like that's not what I collect, and I know how big and significant that card is. So my job as a breaker is to sort of set him up in the best process of getting maximized value and also giving him the options of what he can do with the card. So like we set up meetings with Fanatics Collect, some other big consignment companies, sort of laid out all the options for him at the show. And then he got some numbers, and he's just gonna feel it out and hold it for a few months. But I'm still like working that side from him, from those consignment companies. Like he wanted me to handle that for him.
Awesome.
So I'm dealing with those companies for him and just seeing where it goes.
Well, I like show off the card for a bit. You'll have it at the National, get some more eyes on it. Maybe someone hasn't heard that it's been pulled yet. That's the offer that the buddy's going to take,
Yeah.
Well, I think too, almost like Karn is doing with the Ultimate Shield 101, is there's an opportunity beyond just the transactional value of the card, of these two cards, to help elevate the hockey hobby as a whole and draw attention and bring new collectors in, because you can complain about there's too much focus on the biggest of big cards, but we were given this world, we didn't make it, and these cards capture a lot of attention and they have a lot of interest. And so marketing them as showpieces of the hobby is just as important, I think, as creating value for the card owner.
Yeah, for sure.
Well said.
Okay. Oh, and then you had a true RPA too that you got graded. Did you pull this one too?
Yeah, we pulled that in the same night as the rookie gear 1-of-1. So
Why not?
that was also a customer. I told him, I was like, this has huge potential. This is the first graded copy. So the first time you get to see it from like the upper deck slab into a PSA slab, came back the 10 autograph. That's what we wanted. Thought it was going to be an 8 or 9. And I still think 8 is a super solid grade for like, you'd think like they're better condition this year being in the slab. Like when you really look at them, like I think 8 is going to be a super solid grade. And this also is going to be hitting Slab Sharks this week as well. So we'll see how.
So why did you decide to do why did you back to the RPA did not need to be authenticated? Why did the buyer want to? He wanted the 10 grade. That's why.
No, I can answer that. Let me try to answer it, and then you tell me if I'm right. Is that just like with the 101, you did a min grade, and then if it didn't achieve that it would be authentic.
Yeah, exactly. So the min grade was an 8. So this hit the 8 on it. I also think it's more important on an RPA at 99 to like give it a specific grade because that's going to differentiate it from the other 99 copies that get slabbed up. The 101 is what it is. Like it's the only one, and authentic slab looks great in it. This one here, even like if it came back a 7, still like you're going to get your value from the different grades associated with the card. So throughout the 99, there's going to be tiers of the grade, and that's how you're going to comparison the value.
All right.
Okay. Oh, we have some pictures too of the Total Sports, GP Sports booth here at the Fanatics Fest. So, like, how big was the overall card show part? Like, how would you compare it size-wise to other shows?
It was pretty big. I mean, I don't know exactly how many vendors there were. I want to say there was like 400 or 500. It was a pretty big size show. I mean, that actually might be an overstretch. I don't know exactly, but it was like enough where you'd walk like I think there was like 8 alleyways with like probably I don't know how many exactly, but there was a ton of cards there. And it was a cool experience where the whole other side was like the fan events and that sort of thing. So it was a big show. I can't speak on the side of like football, basketball, baseball, how they did.
Sure.
All I know is like, again, I brought like 40 cards and they sold on the first day. So, and even the hockey side, like it was more so like transactional where we had some unique pieces and that sort of thing. So we weren't trying to sell the quantity of cards, more so like the quality. But yeah, a big show, big turnout. It was impressive. It's a very impressive show.
Can I give you a piece of advice setting up in America? I think this is really good advice. I would make a big banner that just says "We have hockey cards."
Yeah, why not?
No, seriously, because like in Canada, you set up and every booth has hockey cards, so that's not a differentiating factor for you. But if somebody's just casually walking around in a sea of booths and they have interest in hockey, to see hockey cards right there, I bet you that would draw people in.
Yeah, I know it's crazy to think like how many vendors there were there and how like there was only like we were the only hockey all hockey booth. Like that blows my mind from that perspective. And same thing with the National. There's like 3 or 4 all hockey booths at the National, and that's it. So you'll see it way more sprinkled around at the National, so it's way more represented. But still, at the end of the day, like I hope hockey can grow, and like I think cards like this are important, like the Bedard, and we'll start to see more hockey on these show floors. So,
how was the food there? Was there good concessions?
You see that red truck right in the background?
Yeah.
That was a Raising Cane's truck. I was in heaven.
I don't know what that is.
It's That's chicken tenders place.
It was free chicken tenders all day of the show. You just had to line
my God,
up.
that's worth every price of admission. That's amazing.
My kids like it. It's a
that's
chain here.
Can't go wrong
one
with a
thing I will
chicken.
say about Fanatics Fest, and like I was watching some other YouTube videos and people promoting the show, like they built an experience where if you were a collector coming to the show, you got that free food. There was free drinks outside. There was a ton of stuff to do, obviously the fan events, and also like they had the Tops exclusive boxes. So if you were a fan paying $150 for your ticket, well, you could go and buy a Blaster exclusive for Fanatics Fest, and you could flip that and make your money back. So the price of your admission was covered.
Okay.
So
Lots going on, eh? Wow.
yeah. So like there was a lot of things that you could buy and free promotions and that sort of stuff. So your cost of your ticket could easily be paid the second you walk in the door. And then the free food and all that. It was cool on that, and they definitely crushed.
I hope some of those Fanatics superstar type things come up to the expo. I'm sure the people that run the expo in Canada hopefully write notes and taking tips to make it even better for us out here, right? Because like I said, things are usually bigger in the USA. So coming up to our country soon, I hope.
Well, the Javits Center is one of the biggest convention centers in America. It's huge.
Awesome.
And
Nice.
they have massive shows there.
Yeah.
Like, dwarfs the size of the International Center. They could have 5 expos at once going on in that facility. Did you do anything fun in New York City when you were there?
Most of the time was like, again, even last year we did the same thing where we would take off. The show would end at like 7, but we'd take off around 4 or 5 to go spend a lot of time on collections. So that's my main goal of like shows like this. Selling is great, but buying, we have to buy X amount to make these trips worthwhile. Obviously the setup is expensive, and then we got to supply our breaks and stuff with the repacks and obviously looking for like the grill pieces. That's what makes my shows. Finding one card that I'm going to put in my collection can make a show for me. That's like the hunt and the fun part for me. So like all 3 days at the show, we left a little early and spent like 6+ hours with the 2 collections that we were working on throughout the weekend.
And those were in New York City?
Yeah, the one was like an hour and a half away. That was a long trip, but that one was an hour and a half away, and then the other one was like 45 minutes away. So all 3 nights we spent with those collections.
Who'd you go with? Did you bring Emmanuel and Sam, or?
No, Sam didn't come this year. He was so upset, Phil. He was so upset that he didn't come. He's like, I'm not missing on a future show. He's like, okay, Saskatchewan, we're in. He's like,
yeah, there, you heard it here first. He's in. We have the same house, man. We're gonna have a great time in Saskatoon.
Yeah. So I went out with 2 buddies, Marco and then Justin. So we made the trip, long drive.
Oh, you brought Marco? That's bold of you.
yeah. So it was a fun trip, but
nice, man. Nice.
Long drive. So yeah.
What's this card?
So that is so this is Scott. So we made a YouTube video last year at Fanatics Fest. He made our show. He's a huge collector. I've actually known him from early days of Facebook when I first started breaking, like early 2014, 2015. He was one of my customers in my breaks from Facebook. And sort of as we navigated to YouTube, he sort of stopped, like he didn't transition. He's a Facebook guy. He lives and breathes Facebook. So he's still staying on Facebook. We hadn't been in touch, but then the last Fanatics Fest, I reached out because I know he's in New York, and I was like, hey, do you mind if I stop by if you got anything you're looking to sell? We ended up making a high 6-figure deal last year on a part of his collection. And this was one card that like I remember because I used to own this card. This is my number 1 card when I was 18 years old. And when I was starting the business, I sold this card. I razzed it. And like I knew it's like one of those things. I was like, I'm gonna regret this. I know this is a future card, but like from my end, like I would have like a Mario Lemieux shield, and I know it's not as valuable, but I'd have a McDavid. I'm like, this is gonna go up, but I like Lemieux more. Like, so I kept my PC cards, and this was my biggest shield at the time. So I moved it in a Raz. Scott,
what did you razz it for?
I think I razzed it for 11,000, 10 to 12,000, around that range. And so
what year was that? I mean, before people like
2018, I think.
Yeah,
so
I
not
mean, that's
year
pretty...
before people start freaking.
Yeah, that was like huge back then. Like a Lemieux shield back then was probably only like $4,000, $5,000. So like it was big money back then for a card, and that was my number 1 card on my PC. And so I ended up auctioning, or I razzed it. So Scott won the first razz, and then he ended up taking a cash back. And we razzed it again a second time. He took another cash back. And then he got it on the third time. He's like, I'm gonna keep this card. Like this is like meant to be. So since 2018, he's kept this card all these years, and I'm like, one day we're gonna have to try to work out a deal on this card. And so a year later, when we returned this year for looking at his collection and buying a big collection from him, this was the centerpiece. Like this was the monster we worked on. So super happy to have it back.
Get it for 8,000.
No, definitely a lot more than that. Definitely.
I'm happy, Grant. I'm happy for you. That's
Yeah.
that's important that you got that back. I'm happy for you to put that
Yeah,
in your
that's
PC, brother.
cool.
Quick question: what are you asking for your McDavid Gretzky chronology dual auto? 2 pictures back. What does that card go for? Like
6,000.
Oh, that seems like a good price.
Where is
Yeah.
it?
Anyway, well, it's no, get away from my card. Yeah, yeah, it's right there. Top second card from the right on the top. It's in a BGS.
Oh, this one.
I
Yeah,
believe
it's
that's
crazy.
like a $600 to $6,500 card, but I have to
That's
double check.
not too many Gretzky McDavid autos, right?
13,000 for you, Phil.
Yeah, thanks.
So here's the deal that went down.
So this
and-
was another collector that we dealt with, and so this wasn't Scott. This was honestly my favorite collection I've ever picked up. Like,
Well, yeah, look at all that money in the middle.
it was surreal. So this was just the first day of what we went to.
Wow, that's
So
awesome.
there was a whole nother day, a much bigger pieces. But this was one of the collectors. So this was a collector named Mark, and he collected heavily from 2012 to 2016. And he was just sort of like ready to move it. This was a prearranged deal. So we did all the numbers with him, worked out the deal ahead of time. Unfortunately, the bank was closed on Thursday for Juneteenth. Like he couldn't pull out any of the cards from the vault. And so we had to come back a second day to pick up the remainder of the collection. But this is a guy who like collected through and through exactly the type of stuff that I like. He didn't have a single like Ovechkin really. I think he had 1 card of Ovechkin, and he had a ton of Lemieux and Crosby. So I was like, how are we the same right now? Like I've never met a collector who like collected and liked the same players as much as me. So this had some really cool grail pieces that I was like on cloud 9 for.
Yeah, like it's hard to see, but what's this blue card? I see a very nice Oli Lefsa auto there.
That's the out of 66 tops Lemieux auto returned.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
is there like one like highlight or one card that stands above the rest from this collection?
yes, but I'm gonna send her a YouTube video about it. It was my second biggest.
Spill the beans, Paterson.
We're not
I have a
killing it,
bucket
Phil.
list of like Crosby cards, and this was like second on the tier list of like.
It's a Crosby?
Yeah, and like there's
How'd
some
you see
crazy
it?
Lemieux stuff. Like I'll say like there was a Lemieux property of that I have the Crosby version of, and I've been searching to pair. Like that's my number one goal is to pair Lemieux and Crosby stuff. So if I get a shield of Crosby, I'm like, I need to pair this with the Lemieux version. So he had the Lemieux property of that I've been searching for years. It's just, again, it's tucked away. It's like, that's the fun for me in these type of things is hunting.
Yeah,
these type
but
of
do you
cards.
have white diamond allure, Sidney Crosby? Retail.
No.
Yeah, so this is a cool one that really like made the weekend for me. This collection here, and obviously with Scott as well. So it was a crazy weekend. I also sold I sold 6 cards, but I sold cards that I already regret selling, and like it was a big step for me. I don't sell very often, but
Grant,
yeah.
you have to sell. You have to sell to make the machine turn.
I know.
Sell your copies.
I sold 2 O-Pee shields that I'm going to be putting into Crosby shields, so I will say that. So
That's awesome. That's good. Yeah, do that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Who were the players that in New York people were most interested in?
I would say Bedard was honestly right up there. Like a lot of people were going for Bedards. The usual suspects like Crosby, Ovechkin had a bunch of demand. Gretzky was big. And then like if you brought anything to this show, which I should have brought more, like anything Igor Shesterkin, like Adam Fox type guys, middle end would fly at this show. Because again, there's not much hockey there, and it's not super well represented. So if you brought like the local teams, Jack Hughes, I sold all my Jack Hughes, Yager,
Really?
Devils,
Yeah,
so
Jersey.
I bet you Jack Hughes Young Guns would have gone like instantly, like that sort of stuff.
And he was signing too, so that even gives more people like, hey, I can go buy this young gun and get it signed. So
Did you see them? Did you see the Hughes brothers there?
I was going to. I was so mad that I didn't. Like because I played against.
Gotta work.
Hughes younger, so I was gonna have him inscribed like his like junior team that he played for that I played against him. So I'm sure he never inscribed that. But it was like the first day, like right when it opened. I'm trying to set up and like walk the show floor, so I didn't think of it. But
nice.
Do you think that the more traditional big card shows like the National or the Expo, that they really need to be paying attention to what Fanatics is doing and more on the experiential side and start to up their game there? Because it seems like that there's quite a bit of a difference. Am I right in that?
Yeah, for this show, like I would say, I mean, this is a great show to get new collectors and new people into the hobby, like from the perspective of they might go to the show for the fan event side, the celebrities, the athletes, and then they sort of stumble across like a couple booths and sort of fall in love with cards. Topps did a great job on that end. I think there's like a place for the National where the National is so big and it's all collectors that like maybe you don't need the fanfare type stuff. Like it's such a great show where it's everyone's going there for the same reason that it's all collectors, and already it's just so packed. Like I don't think you need the fanfare type stuff at the National. I think there's sections of it like the Toronto Expo. We had like the washer and dryer shooter, like stuff like that's really cool, and that's important for like the younger generation to sort of connect and come to a show. So I think like a few booths of that type of stuff would definitely help. But I think every show sort of has its like its perks and the reason you go to them. And I think Fanatics Fest found like a niche with what they do.
We should go.
Did they announce a third one like next year already or no?
There's rebooking already for it. Yeah, so there's going to
be yeah, I'll be a roadie. Just bring me and Josh. We'll set up your tables and we'll go check out
your cards.
Yeah, steal your cards. Hey, were there was probably more babes there than the Expo, right? Like, you know, people dressed up. Yeah, you can say yes. It's okay. We're human.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I can't wait to go to the States. Yeah, so excited.
I was having a conversation with somebody about Phil last night. I can't remember who it was, but Phil's answer to every question is a hot girl.
I like beautiful women. There's a big difference between a beautiful woman and a hot girl. Okay. The magic happens when they have both. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So, you know. Yeah.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good report of Fanatics Fest. And yeah, it sounds like big opportunity. So would you bring more like football, basketball, baseball cards next year, or would you just bring a different allotment of hockey cards that you think more people would be interested in?
Like, I mean, for me, like the main reason this was an anomaly for me because I sold a few bigger pieces, but like I go to these shows to just represent hockey and like sort of have it on the show floor. Because like, again, if we weren't there for a hockey booth, there was no hockey booth at the show, and someone who's a collector of hockey might not come back to the show. So I think it's important to sort of bring, you know, the hockey inventory that we acquire throughout the year and sort of represent that in the United States. So no matter how much football and basketball I have, I know I can move that stuff. I'm not going to bring it to a show. I sort of move it there first day and then put the rest of my hockey out. So from my end, it's more so to represent hockey on the show floor. But yeah, like if you're a Canadian collector and you want to move your football, basketball and stuff, like it's liquid down there. It's so easy. So
Grant, Josh actually gave you a good idea. Like the big banner that says we sell hockey cards. You do so many breaks, man. And how many Americans don't probably know that? You should say Canada's, like, they don't know the difference. I mean, you're already top 3, if not the biggest. Canada's biggest hockey breaker. Just a huge banner. They'll never forget you. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just say
you could dress up like Phil in a parrot costume. He does it all the time for our show, and he could like spin a thing about there. We have hockey.
Hockey, Grant.
But I'm super excited about the National this year. It's going to be interesting to see. I think.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun, man. We'll see you there.
Back to Chicago, I think it's going to be super fun.
And you'll have the Bedsy there, right? We can all take selfies with it.
Yes, it should be at the booth, depending on what Howard wants to do, but we should have it there. We're going to be working a trade night on Friday at the National, so I'm going to announce more stuff about that. And
exciting! Can't wait. Canada coming to represent.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Well, we might have to do a Friday. So if you're gonna have a trade night, it's Friday night.
Friday night. Yeah, it's gonna be with the National.
I'll be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
You have Friday nights with Phil. We might have to do Friday nights with Phil live from trade night.
Yeah,
That'd be
well,
good.
it's not up to him. He's
Get
working
on the stage, breaking in Friday nights.
Oh, I'm not going on the stage. The world is my stage. Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, here's the diva comes out. Okay. Well, thank you, Grant. It sounds like you had a very successful trip. It's good to get a report from Fanatics Fest. And now we'll end the interview so Phil can talk to you about his weird feelings for his cat. We'll see you next time, bud.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, Grant.
Thank you to Grant again for taking some time to join the show. What a crazy hockey card life this kid lives, huh, Phil?
Yeah, not bad. It does come with problems, but those are fun problems to solve. So good on Grant for having a great time at Fanatics Fest. He was the only hockey guy, which was great. I think he should put that big banner. It says hockey cards here, like you suggested.
Feather in his cap.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's awesome. I can't wait to watch that.
All right. We're going to move on to new product releases, which is brought to you by Mint Inc., who's a partner and friend of our show. Mint Inc. is the official host for Rip Party 2 coming up at the Fall Expo. Cannot wait for that. If you live in Toronto or the GTA, as Lee likes to say,
Toronto.
You need to stop by Mint Inc. and check it out. The shop is amazing. All the people there, of course, super friendly, and they've spared no expense in building a modern and fun shop that literally has it all. They have hobby boxes, singles, memorabilia, merch, grading services, consignment, and of course, their breaks after dark. The shop in Vaughan, pretty easy to get to from anywhere in the Toronto area. But if you're not in Toronto, do not worry, because Mint Inc. can ship all the new releases to anywhere in Canada. Upper Deck hath bequeathed them the ability to do so.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
they're
just
also they're also
Yeah.
Canada's only Tops affiliate. So you need any top stuff, give them a shout. Mint Inc.'s your place.
The tops of the tops.
Mhm.
Head to minting.ca, order it up, and you're all good. Big release week, boys. We had a very short break. We had a 1-week hiatus from new products, but now we're back.
Very exciting.
One of the biggest sets of the year, 2024-25 O-Pee-Chee Platinum. Ready to roll this Wednesday. The checklist is, of course, live on hockeychecklist.com. And hey, maybe use the new Power Search. Try it out.
Power Search.
Power Search. So we're going to do a breakdown of the set, look at some of the design previews that Upper Deck has provided. Before we get into the configuration, a reminder that 24-25 O-Pee-Chee Platinum is released in hobby, e-pack, and retail formats.
Mm.
Let's look at the base set. So the base set for 24-25 is broken down per usual by veterans and marquee rookies. Looking at the veterans first, there are 20 or 200 players on the checklist. And of course, you get Platinum is a very parallel driven release. So you get a lot of parallels, 14 base set parallels in total.
Wow.
Pictured on YouTube is the bioluminescence, which is a mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 5. Looks sharp though.
Yeah, it does.
So breaking down the parallels, you have neon yellow surge, rainbow, sunset, and pink magma are your ratioed ones.
Nice.
Magma.
Sunset will be nice, I hope.
Then for numbered parallels, we have violet pixels, red prism, blue fragments, Arctic freeze, cosmic, Phil's favorite, seismic gold, Phil's other favorite, orange checkers, Louis' favorite, emerald surge, nobody's favorite, and bioluminescence and golden treasures
I
numbered
want
ones.
white ice back.
Mhm.
White ice.
Well, okay, so here's something. The first thing that stood out to me about this release, and I don't remember since we've been doing this show this happening yet. The parallels are the exact same from last year. Is that good or bad?
I haven't finished last year's set of my Brady yet, so I don't know. I really like the year. Last year was a very good year, so maybe I'll look into that a bit more. But that's pretty cool because they always switch it up every year. They
Usually
switch
like
it
1
up.
or 2 is new.
Yeah. Blue luster. I don't know if I can get behind that.
I think I prefer when there's 1 or 2 new ones. I mean, I'm okay that we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to prejudge, but
You think
What do you think, Louis?
Houndstooth is vertical or horizontal this year? I hope vertical.
Vertical.
Yeah.
Is that an answer or
Well, I didn't say anything. What are you saying? I said I'm happy.
Ask Louis.
Oh,
I'm
you want my answer to it?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I don't care.
That was another Baba Louie hobby hot take.
You don't like Platinum, Louis?
What was the dang question? I was busy producing in the background. What what was your question?
The parallels are the exact same as last year.
That's fine.
And normally they switch. Also, okay, so you think it's fine.
I love this set. I don't care.
Now we'll go into marquee rookies. And again, per usual, there are 100 rookies in the base set. Oh, here's the Golden Treasures file, which a little bit of a bummer. Like, I prefer strongly products that have 50 rookies because you're going to get a lot of more of like who's in there. But it's not different this year. There normally is 100 marquee rookies in Platinum. The other thing that I'll never understand, and I got to get to the bottom of this with Upper Deck. It seems like every year they go between marquee rookie and marquee rookies. Like, they just can't pick one.
Oh, I've
Does
never
this bother
noticed.
anyone else?
I never noticed that. Now I'm going to go back and look.
Yeah,
maybe it's how high the worry meter of getting sued for copyright is, right? I'm not even kidding. Like, that's maybe what it is. Like, the radar's not up this year, so we can put rookies. It's okay. Or like, no, don't do that. I have no idea. I need it demystified to me.
So there's 100 rookies on the checklist, exact same parallels as the base. The ratioed are going to be different, but the numbered are all the same. There's a 3 or 2 base variations this year. We don't have photos for either of them, so we just have to imagine what they look like. Mixed media variant.
Is that like a preview? Is that a preview in Platinum?
There's 15 veterans, 1 in 288 pack odds, and then there's 5 marquee rookies. You have Cutter Gauthier, Logan Stankoven, Shimmy Shakes, Celebrini, and Michkov. Rookies are 1 in 288 packs as well.
It's a big year.
Then we have Pond Hockey, which is rookies only.
Oh.
Cutter Gauthier, Stankoven, Nazar, Celebrini, and Michkov. No Shimmy Shakes.
No. Interesting.
1 in 288 packs for that one too, and no shield. I don't know if that'll come out later. Maybe an Easter egg. Maybe...
Oh, it's got to be an Easter egg. I got to have my shield card. Come on,
or EPAC achievement or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's got to have it. It gets better every year. They're not getting rid of that. Come on, no way.
Come on. Switching to inserts, the retros are the big insert. 65 veterans on the checklist. 1 in 2 pack odds to hit a base retro. Then a number of parallels. Rainbow and Pink Pulsar are the ratioed. Blue Luster, Phil. There's your blue luster. Out of 100, Houndstooth out of 15. Golden Treasures 101 are your numbered parallels. The Retro Rookies has 35 players on it with the same parallels. Okay. Beyond retros, there's O-Pee-Chee Premier. Or do you have a comment?
Parallel-driven set. Yeah. And I love it. I love all the parallels. What were you saying? What was your question?
No, that's it.
Okay.
The next insert is O-Pee-Chee Premier. There's veterans and rookies. No images yet. 20 veterans on the checklist. 1 in 96 pack odds. 15 rookies. 1 in 96 as well. No parallels, though, for O-Pee-Chee Premier. Okay. Which kind of is a bummer. I wish that they would have, like, in paper, like a diamond or something like that.
Yeah, it would
numbered parallel.
Nasty, but we would like it. O-Pee-Chee Premier cards. I can't wait to see the design because they're always different. I can't wait to see it. Big fan. Those are great cards. Listen, good listener. You can get, I have so many beautiful Crosbys. Take a look at my Crosby top loader binder video. I have like 4 or 5 top tier, top notch, beautiful hockey cards, O-Pee-Chee Premier. They're not expensive. They're not expensive at all. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 of them are, but nothing's going to break the bank for you. Take a look at them. They're fantastic.
There's 3 additional parallels. There's power playmakers. 15 players on the checklist, all vets, base or 1 in 2 pack odds. 4 parallels. There's Ray out of 85, Green Ray out of 35, Orange Ray out of 15, and Golden Treasures 101.
Is like a ray of a beam of like a ray of beam of light
I
kind
don't
of
know.
thing?
This is a new one, new parallel name. So I'm curious if
Maybe
it'll be a new technology. I hope it is.
Is this
maybe
a green ray?
someone passed in their office and it's like a nod to them, like this is to Ray.
I don't know.
Like when they do that in a movie dedicated to Gloria. I don't know.
Good one.
No, I'm not kidding. Maybe it's true. I don't know. If I owned Upper Deck, I'd have a Cole set. I'd have a Charlie set. I'd have a Mr.
Or maybe it's not the Ghostbusters. Ray.
Yeah. Egon.
Show 25 cards in the checklist. It's a mix of vets and rookies. 1 in 4 base odds. Parallels are orange Ray out of 15. So maybe that's the Ray kind of background. It's wavy, like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
Mechanical.
Treasures 101. Then there's Sweet Selections, which is a kind of bit of mainstay.
Oh, that's cool.
I like this.
I like this too.
Yeah.
All rookies, 15 cards, 1 in 3 base odds. Parallels are green Ray out of 35. I would assume that's the one we're looking at on YouTube. Orange Ray out of 15 and Golden Treasures 101.
There's a golden treasure for every.
There's too many. I don't like they should keep it to base set only.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I would prefer that as well.
And retros. Like I'm cool with the retro. Cool.
Yeah, I'm big. Yeah, that would be cool.
Next category is autos. So autos and O-Pee-Chee Platinum are normally traditionally hard signed, so that's a kind of a bonus. Rookie autos are 1 in 30 pack odds. Overall, it does include SP. There's tons of parallels. There's Rainbow, Sunset. Did you get that one? There we go.
Nice. I love that card. So cheesy, but I love it. It's great.
Buffalo's own Josh Doan.
Yeah,
Pink.
Buffalo's own.
Magma. Violet Pixels, Cosmic, Red Prism, Seismic Gold, Orange Checkers, Emerald Surge, and then Golden Treasures 101. Veterans have blue autos. There's 87 vets on the checklist. 1 in 60 overall pack odds includes short printed. Then there's red retro autos, both vets and rookies. 1 in 92 overall pack odds for veterans includes SP. 1 in 384 overall for rookies includes short print too. It's a nice looking card. I still prefer the non-auto, but
either I don't have any or I never noticed it. But is that RC new or always there?
It's always in the retro for O-Pee-Chee Platinum.
Okay.
And O-Pee-Chee. Normally in the retro. Oh, last year, because remember last year they forgot it in the design.
That's why I'm confused.
Yes. Or in paper they forgot it, and then they added it to Platinum. There's autos for the other 3 inserts too, for the Power Play Maker, Showmanship, and Sweet Selection. Then there's a number of updates in 24, 25 Platinum. They have updates going back as far as 2020.
Oh, wow.
For at least one player. Then they have 2020, 21, 22, and 23. A bunch of 2023 rookie auto updates. No bedsies, though. Those were all packed out with the 23 set. Okay, what to expect in a hobby box. You get 12 packs per box, 12 cards per pack. You get 1 hard side auto. It looks like 6 to 7 serial number parallels, 3 to 4 inserts, and 2 to 3 marquee rookies. You can still get your pre-orders in at Mint Inc. for 2024-25 O-Pee-Chee Platinum. $289.99 CAD per box. Pre-sales in the US are looking like $230 US, so right on track with conversion rates there. What do you guys think?
I'm excited. Can't wait to pick up a box. Can't wait to open it up on Friday nights with Phil. It'll be great. Yeah, O-Pee-Chee Platinum never disappoints unless you're 22-23 season.
Hopefully. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I like the 12-pack, 12-card configuration where you get more hits.
Yeah.
I'm kind of over the 4 cards in a pack thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like thick packs. Let's go.
Philip.
Hello.
You're on,
it's
buddy.
me. I'm up. All right, Gongshow Mailbag time. We'll give Josh a little break here. Let's get right into it. All right, first question from Discord, Foley48. I have a question in regards to the recent conversation about gem rates for grading young guns. Does anyone know if there is any correlation between the young guns placed on the printing sheet and the resulting probability of gem rating? Might it be a case that a card on the edge of the printing sheet has more chance of being damaged due to the exposed edge of the printing sheet during the printing process and thus having a lower gem rate? I'll go first. I love your question. I've definitely had some boxes where a damaged theme comes into play. I'll explain. So I'll buy a box of cards. Every third card of my pack of that box has a roller mark. I don't know how they package things, but it doesn't bother me too much unless it's like a big hit or something. But I think you might be onto something, you know? Louis, what do you think? Oh, never mind.
Kind of followed you. I said, Foley,
Yeah.
you're either on something or onto something. I like the thought.
I like it. Josh?
Great question to ask Billy. I don't know. I don't know enough about printing. I get confused like when they talk about like 9 up, 1 up, 2 up,
Yeah.
face down, all the
Did you
lingo.
work for a printing company?
Well, not in the, I worked in the office part.
You were a suit.
Mm-hmm.
Suit.
Yeah. You were at the top floor of the Titanic when everyone was having fun in the bottom.
He worked on
Oh, I was way on the lifeboat before everyone else.
Oh, good man. Good man.
He worked on he
Iceberg right ahead.
he was in the area of the building that had carpet. He wasn't standing on concrete.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Discord from Spike, our new member. What's up, buddy? Favorite base card design in the last 20 years? I'll go first, he says. 0809 Artifacts. I absolutely loved it as a kid. Louis, what's your favorite?
Well, we could be here all day. 90 Upper Deck, 97 Pinnacle Certified, 99 Upper Deck Holographics, 05, 06 Victory, 22, 23 Strats, Stature. Oh boy, 23, 24 SPX Finite. Take your pick. That's my favorite base cards in the last 20 years, plus some.
I took it simple. I went any outburst. I think that is you can get any outburst in a base card design now, so it's a bit of my loophole to answer your question. And then I'd go 21, 22 Allure. I think that is just one of the best hockey sets ever created.
It's
I
perfect.
agree. I think the last few releases of Allure have been
Awesome.
The base cards have been amazing. Too nice.
The outburst isn't really an answer. I know I'm just kind of cheating on that, but my official answer is the Allure. Well, you can get a base card in outburst. Anyways, okay. Next question.
But it's
Instagram.
parallel.
True.
I didn't mean to shush you. I did, but I didn't. Sorry. Raybor Collection. Josh, explain to us how you met Phil and what was your first impression. Also, how the collaboration with him started. Keep it up. Well, Josh, that's your question, so you can answer it.
I met Phil on a dating site for lonely men. We got an apartment, and the rest is history. Oh.
I'm the top bunk.
Yeah.
Actually, I stumbled across Phil's YouTube channel and liked his videos a lot and couldn't believe how, and this is going to come off as offensive. It isn't.
No.
How little viewers you had. It's
like, Jesus, that's offensive. Because I wasn't consistent. I'm not consistent.
You know, it was like, this guy is way too good to have. I mean, you should be, your video.
All right, thank you, Josh. Thank you.
More popular. Honestly, I was blown away with your talent.
Josh has been my biggest fan since day one. To this day, he's my biggest video. He watches the video before anybody. Yeah,
proud to be that. And then I, like most people, I think I heard you at the expo by the Slab Sharks booth.
Yeah, with Sylvain. Yeah,
with Sylvain. And when they saw the small booth and it was in the old configuration at the expo, and I'm not like a small talk person. I'm pretty shy. And I went up and introduced myself. And it's just a testament to pushing yourself out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I have one of my best friends now. And so I'm so grateful that I probably said, I love your videos. They're amazing.
Yeah.
And he said,
well, we went out for dinner that night. Me, you, Sylvain, and Troy.
And Troy.
Yeah, we've departed, but we kept kind of finding each other. And I get a little bit like Troy too in big crowds, believe it or not. I as you guys know, I need to leave for a bit and I just gotta be in darkness and quiet. So I get a bit of that with Troy. So I caught Troy a few times hiding. I'm like, wait a minute, I know that guy, what he's doing. He's hiding. I'm gonna go hide with him. So it worked out really well. It was a great time. Great time. Thanks for the compliments, Josh. I appreciate it. All right, next question. Instagram, JPillars1. Referees are such an integral part of the game, but often overlooked until a call is made or missed that fans don't agree with. Do you think that we will ever see another insert set featuring NHL referees like the ones from the 90-91 Pro set and the 91-92 Ultimate. Could there be a place in the market to showcase veteran referees like Wes McCauley, rookies, or Hall of Famers, perhaps with autos or game-worn patches? I'll go first. I really think those are all great ideas, Jay, but then I think it gets really cool, really uncool quickly. And I feel like if you put a Wes McCauley patch auto in the cup, I would like it. I don't think a lot of others would. And that would be like, imagine getting like a case hit and it's a referee, like
You'd be
I
happy
just
with
don't,
that?
I don't know. I don't know. Like Tim Pool. I love Tim Pool. I mean, he says stupid crap. So do I. You got to love him or hate him and just keep going. Carrie Fraser. Imagine getting like a hair strand from Carrie Fraser or something with the hairdo. I like it. I think there's something there. I just don't know if it would stick. And I'm sure Upper Deck revisits this constantly. I don't know. What do you guys think? Louis, what do you think?
There's probably not enough interest to do it. It's kind of like the coaches' cards. If those were booming all the time, maybe they'd look into something else like the refs, but that stuff just doesn't really hook anybody, I guess.
You could game match it, right? Like a referee in a Stanley Cup final or something, and then put a picture where he's with a player and do a dual auto card of ref and player, sending him to the box. That'd be kind of funny. It would take a lot of work, but you could do something interesting there. What do you think, Josh?
Here's my thing on referees. I kind of subscribe to the notion that a great referee shouldn't be noticed. Like, I don't like in sports when the referee becomes a part of the story.
Oh, it's like linesmen with face-offs. Drives me nuts.
And so because of that, it's like, well, then they shouldn't have appeal on cards, really, right? They should, if they're doing their job the best and professionally, you shouldn't really notice them as a part of the game.
Yeah, good answer, boys. Good answer. And great suggestion, Jay. Great suggestion. And I agree with you. We just got to maybe peel that back a bit more and dive into it harder. Instagram, D. Wywood. Going back to the Sergei Bobrovsky cards. What about his Flyers rookies and why are they so depressed? Do you see those increasing in value over time? Louis, what do you think?
Goat or bust in that position. Consistency is going to be key for goaltenders. That's the hard thing.
Good answer. Josh, what do you think?
In my opinion, the Flyers jersey hurts him in this case because does anyone identify with Bobrovsky and the Flyers at all? He's so
I still think of Thornton. I still think of Thornton in a Bruins uniform.
Really?
All the time.
See, but I can buy that more so. I think of Bobrovsky either as a part of the Blue Jackets or the Panthers. It looks weird to see him in Phil. I mean, he's only in Philadelphia for like what, 1 year? Something like that. So
I don't know.
I
see him
messed up that question though. I mean, I didn't mess it up, but what about his Flyers? I guess I just took it into a whole goalie in general thing. So DW Highwood or however we want to say that. Sorry, but
no, I think you answered it correctly. So I think if you're a goalie, you better be incredible. Like, I mean, Hall of Fame material every year, or nobody really cares. Like Bobrovsky, like Carey Price, his cards aren't difficult to attain. I mean, they're not cheap, but you can pretty much start a PC of him whenever you want, and you can find it. I'm sure there's some grails out there that people aren't letting going, but reasonable prices. Hall of Fame goalie, maybe not. Depends who you ask. If you ask me, nope. And goalies have to be top tier, like the boys said. And second question from D. Wywood. Comment on the Vezina for sale on Fanatics Premier and PSA versus SGC Vezina values. Josh, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is like currently or was in the most recent, because when I looked it up, I didn't see any recent Vezina rookie purchases by Fanatics Premier. I know they have sold on Fanatics Premier probably fairly often. And when it comes to pre-war hockey cards, to me, the only difference or distinction that I think is meaningful between PSA and SGC is when it comes to the registry. I think from a value standpoint, that they're fairly equivalent. Like I wouldn't feel like getting a card graded by SGC would hurt its market value, but I think it maybe because of the registry and PSA, it does give PSA an advantage. So I still think it would be smartest to grade it PSA.
Good answer. Next question. Discord. Sidwink. Is Josh scared now that Phil has unlocked artificial intelligence music and audio capabilities? That's only what you know, Sidwink. Should we all be scared? Louis?
I will use my Fifth Amendment right on this question. So I don't
Okay.
get involved.
Josh, I'll let you go ahead.
I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
First
Get
of all,
snappy.
let's never forget, Sidwink, that Phil is the little baby cry face Hayden Christensen Padawan. I am the Jedi Master.
Mm.
That's very
Well,
important.
if I get
to
Natalie
remember.
Portman, you can be the little Jedi you want, buddy. I'll be at home.
Secondly, I need to remind people that all the Phil button bars have come directly straight from his mouth. It's not AI. It's actually crap this dude says. And Phil, the only way he can retort is by making stuff up. So
Yeah,
I'll
so
leave it there.
I'm fine with
I'll leave
that.
it there.
Yeah, well, here's my answer. I think Josh does need to be careful. Yes. He can take things too far. Yes.
No.
So can I. So Josh and I going toe to toe to all the means of the end would not be good. But here's the big difference. I'm much more impulsive than him. We both, I think, like competition equally. But lastly, Josh has a Jenny, a wife, a voice of reason. I do not. So I think I'd bet on me on that one.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Instagram feathers. You guys got to clean those up. Feathers _20. What's your thoughts on the decentralized draft? I personally feel it takes away from the experience. I'll go first. The general managers are the ones that wanted this, so I don't think they'll push for it again. Maybe it was sabotaged by Gary on purpose. I don't know, but yeah, doesn't sound like it went too hot. Louis, what do you think, or Josh?
I don't like it. I don't like it. Everybody needs to be together.
Yeah,
I felt a little forced and weird.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because it was forced and weird, and this woe is me, I don't want to fly thing. Hey, stop. Just stop. All right, next. X. Marner to Carolina. In the Bobby Orr rookie card, why is the background the Leafs and Red Wings playing and not the Bruins? Thanks. Keep up the great work, especially you, Phil. Oh, thanks, man. I never noticed.
Me neither. That is weird.
Yeah.
I instantly had to pull up the card and was like, what?
Yeah. Is this a what are those things? The Berenstain Bears, Mandela effect? Is that what they call it? The Mandela effect?
I don't know.
Forget it. Okay, next question.
Well,
Instagram.
wait, just one little quick thing on that though is, again, as much as we can be Pitchfork Nation on Upper Deck for every mistake they make, making mistakes on cards is not a new thing.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. All right, next question. Instagram, Nerd Voyager 62. Do you like canvas cards? I do, but I'm picky. So I like some of them. Louis?
I like canvas cards.
Josh?
I do as well, but I don't seem to collect any, which is kind of strange.
Yeah. I think we're all similar to that. I think there's just there's no, if there was a numbered out of 10 canvas, that'd be pretty cool. No. All right, next question. Instagram, Kevin B. Smith. Hey, boys. Now that the round 1 of the NHL draft is over, do you see any sleeper candidates to chase in the hobby? Also, when do you see the top guys, young guns, being released? Cheers. Louis.
Pick your poison on your sleeper candidate. I don't know. You never know. Like Phil said earlier, you look at that first round, and in a couple of years, you're only going to know 3 or 4 of them.
Maybe the key there, though, is, because I think you're right, is if you're really into the prospecting game, to start really paying attention, right? Really looking at these rookie camps and follow over the next few months and see what the tea leaves are saying about all these players, and you might get an early jump on somebody.
Yeah, good call. I talked about one player already. I wanted to right now, which was Merca for the Sabres 9th pick. Here's another one, Kind of scary. Habs at 34, they picked Alexander Zurovsky. Like back in the 90s, remember when we were like, oh my God, this Russian guy, crazy skills, like Kovalev, Fedorov, just the way they dangled that puck. That's what this kid is. Just pure. He's just crazy skilled. So if Alexander Zurovsky pans out, the Habs 34th pick, that's oh boy, that team terrifying. All right, next question. Instagram. Johnny Reddat. How do you feel about the quality of the cards from the Upper Deck the Cup, or from Upper Deck the Cup? I received a damaged card and sent it back. Upper Deck was awesome about replacement. I just can't wait to see what I receive. Well, maybe email us back when you get your card. I don't know. I've damaged cards. I've gotten kind of used to it. Cup cards, they get handled so much. I understand why they don't come in pristine condition. Thicker cards generally don't, and they're handled a lot. They're packaged by hand. You can wear all the gloves you want. Still going to touch them. So I'm just used to it. Doesn't bother me too much. Louis, what do you think?
I haven't heard anybody say much about the cup being super bad. Now, like you said, they're hand packed. I would assume if something was really, really bad, they'd notice it and take the card.
Well,
obviously,
did you
not.
see my card?
No.
I'm being very positive. I spent almost $2,000 on my cup box, and my best hit was a very damaged card. The pen went dry, so he just kept trying to sign, indented the whole card in the middle. So they're
really?
human. But it's bad.
Yeah, you sent that back though, right?
Not yet. No,
Oh, you should.
I don't have I can't really drive around that easily right now.
But to finish that off, obviously, there's those chances, like yours, Phil, that something got missed. But I don't know what to say about this. I haven't had a bad card yet, but
from the cup.
No, not the cup, but I haven't had anything that's really, when you take all of us in the masses, there's going to be damaged cards, and in our community, we're going to think it's a whole bunch of them when it's really probably not. I'm sorry that Johnny here got a bad card. At least he's getting something back for it. Hopefully, and they have the redemption program just for these things, right? That's why I'm not too worried about it. I know I'm going to get another card. I just don't want to miss the window, and I should get on it. But the Upper Deck has a redemption program right there. So it's good. Josh, what do you think?
All good points. I haven't heard anything out of the normal or expected as far as condition issues. And as long as Upper Deck is willing to replace egregiously damaged cards, I think that's all you can really ask for.
Yeah, mine are damaged. That wouldn't bother. I see some posts on Facebook. They're like, look at this white corner. I'm like, well, dude, that's just a card. Stop. Like mine is, I can put a marble on any part of the card and it'll go right to the middle of the card where he was, So it's egregiously damaged. And mistakes happen. That's okay. It's all how you fix them. Next question. Instagram, pucking cards. How do you guys feel about chasing super short prints that weren't officially announced? Like the 23-24 Upper Deck Synergy Logan Stankoven rookie. Does that kind of mystery make that card more collectible or just more frustrating for collectors? It's a love-hate thing for me. I like surprises, but I also want to know the goodies ahead. So that's my answer. Louis, what do you think?
I like the surprises. It makes it interesting. Some people got to know everything, but when you don't know something's coming and somebody pulls one or shows one, you're like, you got to be kidding me. They got that crap in there. It makes it exciting to try to chase it.
Good point. Josh, what do you think?
Love Easter eggs. Some of my favorite cards. So
do you want them on the checklist though?
Yeah, it'd be easier for us than to have to add them later, but I don't mind.
I don't think they can be called an Easter egg then, right? I think that's the whole definement of that term.
Yes.
All right, next question. JT Hockey. Assuming the PWHL hobby continues to grow, what are the next sets you'd like to see for the league? I'll go first. I'd like Upper Deck to focus on the one product they have for the PWHL and get that dialed in with print numbers, like to see how I think they need a bit more of a sample size. And I'd like them to do that before they start venturing in other sets, i.e. flooding the market. PWHL is still very new, and I'll say it again. I think we just need a better sample size, a longer period, because I don't want the last thing guys like us want is Upper Deck to have a profit and loss, more in the loss category, because then we will suffer, right? I don't want. We want Upper Deck to have more money and more wins. I don't feel confident that, busting out a SP Authentic of the ladies right now is something that's going to be warranted. I just don't see that yet. I could be wrong, but I don't know any women, not one, that are buying those cards yet. Louis, what do you think?
I fall under the keep it simple, stupid thing. I like what they're doing right now. I wouldn't mind them keeping it this way. But if you were going to go and expand, keep it into something easy like Allure. I know a lot of people don't like ice, but Allure or ice, you can put patches in that stuff or whatever, if you're going to want to expand a little bit, but I wouldn't take it too far. You got a good thing going right now. So,
Josh?
Yeah, I think you made a good point about being measured. That's probably a good idea. I still don't have a little bit of a hard time grasping sort of like the importance to you of women collecting it. Like, do you think that there can't be a robust collecting base of men that want the women's cards?
Of course there can be, but then it takes away from our hobby.
Okay.
You don't think like if you have if you spend $10,000 a year on the hockey hobby and you're part of the machine, you're giving, you're taking, you're giving, and you don't get a raise, and the next year you have $10,000 and you spend 4 of it on the PWHL. I don't collect PWHL. Maybe I'm counting on you to rip some wax to sell me a card I want. That's
I got you.
They're taking market share.
I don't see it as a different hobby. I see it like I don't collect synergy. If I don't, what's the difference, right?
Yeah. You overall, I would like to see more non-media women in, like, I converse with a lot of women. Like my accountant, she's very athletic, loves hockey, plays hockey. She's more into the NHL. She is.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm not a woman. I don't know, but she's more into the NHL.
My daughter in soccer, she doesn't like to watch women's soccer, which I've quite like.
So
why not? But yeah,
I never asked her actually. I probably should or shouldn't. Yeah. All right. Next question. Okay, Mama, 2021. Press the breaking news button. Are you okay? What happened over there?
I was going to try to do a spinorama, but I got caught.
Oh, yeah, you're corded in, though. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. I am not a woman like you guys think. Aww. I am a kid on my mother's Instagram account.
I'm sorry.
Here's my actual question. You have on the checklist site a country search, but how about a United States of America state search? So I tried to find you on your mama on Instagram. Couldn't find you. Anyways, dangerous territory. I'll stop talking.
Do we there's no like DMs that I'm gonna need to contact an attorney about, is there? Or anything like that?
I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the account.
Thank God you couldn't find it. You suck at searching on Instagram.
Yeah, I know. I'm not good on that stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Louis, what do you think?
Oh, first, now that we really know young man, please do not lump me into any of Phil's assumptions.
Yes.
Fair, good point.
As for your question, it could be done, but
it would really have to be a big benefit because that would require going through 7,000 players again, and now adding a state or province.
So yeah. I'll filter that. That's a heck no.
Yeah.
Anytime soon.
Oh, probably
no. Being very nice. Probably not. Yeah. Not anytime soon. Hey, we could empower him to do it. You like working for free?
Oh, we specialize in that around here.
Yeah. Email Friday Nights with Phil. I'll hook you up with Josh. He'll give you a whole checklist and you can put all the states in there you want. Yeah, it's perfect.
Good question though. Thank you for asking.
It is a very good question. I would like provincial. That'd be scary punching in Quebec. Oh my God.
If you can name how many in all the provinces in Canada, I'll do it.
Yeah. I don't know. What is there, like 21?
That's how confident I am in that you can't name them. Okay.
Facebook, Robert Kenny. Hey boys. A possible segment idea. Would you rather today? Would you rather an Emerald Surge marquee rookie of your player, or would you rather an exquisite RPA? You scoundrel. What player are we talking here?
He's saying any player. Like, do you just prefer the?
I know. It depends on the player, right? That's for me. It depends on the
really?
player that I collect for what card I would want. Yeah. Yeah, that's my
Yari
answer.
Curry. What would you rather have? Gold, Emerald Surge or?
I'd rather have a RPA of Yari Curry because that's a better trader.
Okay.
Lemonade from Lemons.
Mm. I
Josh,
like
what do you
the way
think?
you did that.
I would probably go Exquisite RPA.
Louis?
I did the RPA.
Okay. Good question. Good question, Robert. Next, Discord. Cracking some cards. What is the one thing about the hobby that truly disappoints you? Oof, loaded. What is your solution to change it? I'll go first. I don't know if I have a solution, but I definitely have a disappointment. The surge of focus on money. I'm just being very general. It's always been there, yes, since the day I started collecting. Every month in the 90s, I would run to Sluggers, my local LCS in Canada, and I would see if my Pavel Bure rookie card would go up from $18 or my Brett Hall rookie would go up because it was damaged from $55. I don't know why I did that. I have no idea. To sell the cards? No, I didn't sell cards when I was a kid. Didn't sell them when I was 20, 30. Don't really sell them now. I've never really been like that. Then why did I care about the price? Why did I care about the asset value of the card? It's very odd and fascinating, I find. I'd say my heart and brain were like an 80-20. So 80%, maybe even more, 90-10, I don't know. I like to know what something is worth because I think my ego cares. I think the world that we created or the people that lived before us that created around us in a money kind of oriented way, it's always in the back of our head. I don't really have the answer. I guess I would need a psychologist. So this is the part that disappoints me of the current hobby. Let's say I am 80% heart, 20% money. I feel that the majority of the hobby, and I'm being generous here, is 20% collecting, 80% about the money. And that's every year. I noticed the biggest difference when I came back to the hobby after COVID. I quit. I didn't quit the hobby. I took a break from the hobby about a year before COVID hit for my own personal reasons, sucky baby reasons. And then I didn't really enter the COVID thing. I had a business to save. And then when I came back, like 2022, I guess, wow, it got corporatized and maybe I just noticed it more. I don't know, but that's the part of the hobby that disappoints me. And I'm not going to bitch about it, man. I'm going to just willfully ignore it, and I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going to make the friends I want. I've never had more friends in my life that collect hockey cards, and things are great. Things are great in the hobby world in my life. So I put a bit of the blinders on. Maybe that's my solution. I'm willfully ignorant. And yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, what do you think? It's a big question. So take your time.
And I don't want to come off as patronizing. I hate that, but I don't do well with negativity. And sometimes it gets to me a little bit when there can be, I feel like there's a lot of negativity in the hobby. And I don't get it to a certain perspective, right? Because this is a hobby, right? Hobbies are supposed to be fun. And I feel like there's a lot of miserable people doing it. And I don't really understand why. And there's like certain things that I'll just never understand. Like people really seem to care what other people like and do in this hobby. You know, if people are really upset that other people like card grading,
Mm-hmm.
why? Why do you care? Why does it matter? I mean, it's really weird to me in certain ways that because I don't put any thought. If this is a hobby that is supposed to bring somebody's enjoyment, some respite, a break from the stresses of life, why not let them do it the way they want to? And I'll do it the way I want to. And a lot of it, I think, we're content creators and our group is kind of guilty a lot of times in this regard. And we probably are a little bit ourselves too. I'm not trying to, because the cheapest way to get, the easiest way to get views or downloads or whatever your metric might be, the drug of a content creator is to burn the hobby down. This is a scam.
Right.
Right. And, very shocking, very harsh, hard, biting kind of topics about why every big company is the devil, why the hobby's crashing, why it's never the same, why. And that part gets very tough on me because I really do this for fun. I do this for enjoyment. And it's like when I feel like I'm in a community that at times gets really negative, it kind of pushes me out of it to some. It's like, why would I spend my free time being miserable about something? Now, what can we do to change it? That's a tough question. It's because I gave a very personal answer, but I think what we really try to do, probably much more successfully at different times than others, is to be the voice of happy and positivity. And again, because any situation in life you can look at and find the misery and find the joy. And I think a lot of times it just comes down to what you choose to do. And so I try really hard because I want people to do this for fun. I want to be a part of making a community where if your home life is stressful, you're in a stressful financial situation, your job, your boss is riding your butt and it's bumming you out, that you have this nice hobby community to find some solace in. So I'll get off my soapbox, but
That was good, Josh. Very well said. Very well said. I hear you, man. It's this is also a different. I'll get to Louis in one sec, but it's also you made me think of a good thing. A lot there, the hobby is very different with the participants in it in the last 5 years.
Mhm.
And I touched on it before, the corporate thing. There's another thing I also notice as well. A lot of people are in our hobby now. They're with big wallets. They're very successful at their private at the way they make money, right? Like let's say you're a finance guy, you do mortgages or whatever, and it's super successful, and you roll into the hobby, and you just buy all the cards you want and everything. They that when you're that successful in your private life and then things start to not go that good in the hobby, right? Because money will just buy any card. But if you want to trade and you're kind of having some friction with other people in the hobby, I find some of those folks get very negative very quick. And the fact that they're driving a Mercedes and very successful, it kind of bleeds over a little bit. And you just want to be careful about the negativity. Also, you're saying sometimes I think a lot of people are negative because they don't know a lot about the hobby and they're fairly new. And if they have a big wallet, you automatically think that what they're saying makes sense when sometimes it doesn't. So just adding on your negativity.
well, and I think some people thrive on negativity too. So that would be the counterpoint to me that
That's their currency.
I don't know that it's just because I just know for me, and I don't know what part of that in my personality is good or bad, is that I really don't like negativity, and I'm not being glib about that. It really makes me want to do something else when I feel
Yeah.
that
Like
things
Homer in the
are.
bushes, you just back
Yeah.
away. I'm
And
leaving.
I'm a very optimistic person. I believe like the best is yet to come. I believe tomorrow will
Yeah.
be better than today, and I don't like to get taken out of that mindset. I don't like to be, so
It's hard
it
work
just.
to stay in that mindset. It's hard work.
Mhm.
It yeah, Louis, what are you saying?
I've wrote or typed out 4, 5, 6 different answers to this of what disappoints me and what I would do to change it. And as of now, I've deleted everything.
Okay.
So to be honest with you, I don't have there's things I don't like, but I've tried to get myself out of that. There's a car wreck and I got to stop and slow down and look at it because that's what
Yeah.
everybody wants to do.
Mhm.
I had to find a way to get things that I enjoyed as a collector. I'm not in this to flip and sell any of, make a profit on any of my cards. That's not how I do this. So my solution was to collect the things that I could, that I can afford, and be happy with it. I can't be disappointed that there's stuff out there that I can't go buy. It is what it is. I can't change prices. I try then to get others involved, especially the kids, in ways, because there's a lot of things that they can't get. But if I can find a kid or see a kid that's looking for something and maybe give them something and give them some upside to this hobby, because I hear a lot of my nephews and other kids they're with is, "Oh, I want this and I can't afford it. I want this and I can't afford it." I'm trying to give them a piece of that. I gave my nephew a card one day that I to me, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I gave him a graded card and he ended up crying when he got it in his hand because he's like, there's no way I ever thought I would get something like this. I think we need to reach out to some of these younger kids and help them out and show them that there's ways you can get things. He might take it and flip it into something else. We've talked to him. I've talked to him about doing stuff like that. And I know I'm going in 10 different directions here, but I try to stay away from anything that I can't control myself, I guess. So I don't have those disappointments. Yeah, I see all the cards we talk about and stuff, but what are you going to do about it? There's nothing you can do about it. Collect what you like, collect what you can afford, have fun with what you have, enjoy what others have and can afford. Don't get all bent out of shape because you can't have it. It's a tricky hobby. It's an emotional roller coaster. You just need to learn how to control it and go on your own, I guess. So,
Well, I think another way to look at that too is, and this is more of like a life statement, but protecting yourself and not letting others or steal your joy.
mhm,
Protect your joy and the love that you have for it, and don't get lost in the sauce or the riffraff that ultimately doesn't matter, that we're all kind of susceptible to get, pulled into.
mhm.
Yeah. I don't like people that yuck my yum. Stay away from them. Good answer, boys.
Except for
All
when
right,
Josh shows his cards.
there you go. Next question. Here we go. Instagram, Simpson23. As a fan of chronology canvas masterpieces, Toes and Dreisaitl have been what's been keeping me up at night is what I believe the Tays cards were redemptions, as there were redemption cards for sale on eBay, but they had expiration dates and have since disappeared. Therefore, are there unredeemed Tays masterpieces sitting around at Upper Deck that we'll see later? And then on Cardboard Connection, the pick they use for the set for canvas masterpieces is a Dreisaitl that doesn't seem to even appear on the checklist, and I've never seen one for sale. Help! That's a Josh question. That's all you, big boy.
I think there's a couple things here to dig into quickly. First of all, it's not uncommon, as we're learning with our checklist site and doing these checklist reviews on our show, that when Upper Deck does a solicitation for a new product, many times like 4 to 6 months before the product comes out, they will have preview images that do not match what the ultimate set is. And so, we want to take, and I understand why we want to take all these very literal, like, oh, here's a card that will be in the set. That's not always the case, and run into that all the time. The second thing is, you're right, is that cards are planned for sets and then the athlete doesn't return them and now they become redemptions. And so there's a million moving pieces. And I would say that any like official checklist that comes from Upper Deck is usually about 95% accurate, but it's not definitively exactly what's going on.
Mhm.
Good answer. Good answer. Hope that helps, Simpson. Simpson, eh? All right. Instagram, Ballo34. Do you see Dobson's hobby value increasing with the trade to Montreal? Heck yes. Big time. I think it's a good time to buy Caulfield and Hudson.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think incredibly. The data that won't lie. That's my opinion. Louis, what do you think?
Yeah, for sure within Montreal's collecting fan base.
Josh, what do you say?
I think if you're a seller, now is the time, because
Oh, yeah.
once the season starts, and especially when Series 1 comes out and we assume the Demidov Young Guns is in there, all the focus will be on that. So
Big
you
time.
want to cash in on your Dobsons before the Demidov craze
Mm.
starts.
Yeah. They'll say Dobson who? It's Demidov. You spelled Demidov wrong.
Yeah.
So next question. Instagram, producer Aaron.
Louis competition.
He's sniffing it out.
Hey,
Amazing.
Aaron.
How do you card a card? How do you card
How do you
a card
comp?
that has no comps?
Yeah.
Josh, You have a good answer.
Well, I think you find a number of comparable cards to compare to it and use a cross section to come up with a value you think is fair. Then you have to pitch that to the other person. And, again, comps is for comparables, which is not absolute.
Mhm.
And so you think of like where more so than sports cards, the term comps is mainly used when we buy houses, and to establish the bank loan, they have to get comps. But two houses are ever built the same, right? And so they take 5 houses that are similar size in the similar neighborhoods, and they figure out a value based on that. That's essentially you just have to be more creative, but it's not as easy as we all like to point and say the last sale was for $40, so I'll give you 40. Right? That's what we want to do. It's a little more nuanced, and you have to present a logical argument to the person that they agree with in order to settle on a price.
Excellent answer. Knew you were the guy for that one. Last question. Anthony Wandering Soul. I really want there to be an H in there. Oh, there is. It was just spelt wrong. Anthony Wandering Soul. Sorry, apologies. Do you you don't have to put it in now. It's over. It's too late. Do you think Bedard is all hype, or will he perform? I see all of his rookie patch autos selling at high prices. Worth buying? I'll go first. I love Bedard. He's definitely not a bust to me. The kid's a stud. He's going to play his 3rd year of hockey, and I'm going to be really excited to see how he is. He might be a hobby bust but he didn't have anything to do with that. All out of his control.
Right.
All he can do is play good hockey and make good decisions in the off season and in the on season and play the best hockey he can. You can't tell if the kid's a bust yet or not. Not a chance. So time will tell. The child, he needs some time, and then we'll find out. Louis, what do you think?
I think we still need to all just take a breath and let this play out. I'm sure we'll see the flash of the kid soon.
Well said.
And I think the prices you're going to see that they're worth what they've been selling for.
Oh, we're able to see it. Exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, what do you think?
Well, he has a ton of hype because he's immensely talented, of course. But I think, though, within this, everything you guys said is true. When your cup RPAs are selling for 15, 16,000 US, those are purchases that are made with the assumption that he is going to be an all-time great player. And I think that that's an honest question. Is that so? Because he asked, like, is he worth buying? Well, it depends what card. You can get a lot of cheap Bedard rookies that are cool cards, and there's a very little risk. If you want to spend $15,000 US on a cup RPA, then you are banking that he's going to be a Connor McDavid type, because there's no other justification for that price. None. Right? I mean, that's big boy prices for a hockey player. And I don't think there's any way to tell at this point, if that will happen or not. So, like all prospecting, it's a gamble.
Josh's answer was really good. That's what I meant to say. What Josh said.
That's where I was going with it, but
yeah.
Good
All
job,
right.
Phil.
Thank you. My job is done.
Personal pickups. Very excited for this edition of Personal Pickups, and for a long time coming, we have a new partner to announce as part of the Gongshow family. So we've been talking with Pather about their products for close to a year now. And I remember going back to the very first expo I went to. Maybe you had this experience too, Louis, where thinking there's this giant booth.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Pather? Who are these people? And always wondering for a couple years what they do. Then we had the opportunity, like I said, almost maybe 9 months ago now, to meet with the Neville Pather and learn a lot about their company. And Neville, and they're amazing people. They're very humble, hardworking,
family business.
Family business.
Yeah.
And they have a great product that we're going to promote on our show because we actually believe in it a ton. And it's called an ultimate holder. Now, looks very similar to a one touch, but it's very specifically an ultimate holder. And because it is different than a traditional one touch. And I want to go through a few of those differences right now today, because I really think that this is valuable information for people to know. First of all, most one touches are made of plastic. A Pather Ultimate Holder is acrylic based, and so it's a totally different material. And we believe acrylic is superior.
Why is
to-
acrylic superior, Josh?
Oh, great question, Phil. Thank you for asking. First, it's more scratch resistant, and this is something that I think we all know, but I don't know. It's never come up on our show. A lot of like one touches, like after a year or two, like when you see like people like sell them like their cards in them, they're so scratched that you can barely see the card anymore. Like they have a very short, it seems like, shelf life of looking good. And
They've
you
been
want it.
touched more than once.
Yes, they've been touched more than once.
Not- yeah.
And,
That's
and
hard.
it takes away from the enjoyment of the card. And so when you have an ultimate holder that's made out of acrylic, that's much more scratch resistant and crystal clear, they're
Yeah, much
clearer than
clearer.
plastic, that your cards are just gonna look better in it. That's important. Secondly, acrylic offers much more UV protection for your cards, especially your autos. I'm not saying it's UV foolproof. You can't put your card in an ultimate holder and sit it out in the sunlight for 20 years and expect nothing to happen.
Mhm.
But when we have auto cards, that's a big concern for every collector, and why a lot of like the biggest collectors out there basically refuse to take their cards out of safety deposit box because they're terrified that the autos are going to fade over time, and so it gives you a lot better protection. And then the last thing too, and I think this is important, maybe not to some, but Pather makes their own products.
Mhm.
They don't just go to China and source some plastic one touches and slap their logo on it and try to sell them at hobby shops. They actually they have manufacturing facilities where they make the products themselves. And so what is exciting to me about that is that, hopefully we'll be a feedback loop channel for them.
Mhm.
And if people want different sizes or different products, Phil and we've seen a couple of their innovations they're working on.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
blew us away.
We've been privy to some
You tried to
amazing.
steal one.
Yeah, I did. I know. I did. I kind of did. Maybe
You
I
were
wasn't
that
the best
excited
impression.
about it.
Well, good thing it wasn't the first time we met Neville.
Yeah.
So it was after a few times, so he's gotten to know me a bit. So, but I still probably shouldn't have done that. But I can't stress enough what Josh said. We would never take anybody on if I can prove it. I've been slipping up for over a year saying ultimate holders. Like I don't even call them one touches. Almost my entire collection are in these because I love them. And it's Canadian made, North American made, I'll say, because certain aspects.
I think they manufacture in both the US and Canada now, which is
Yeah.
going to be a big benefit for people.
I love them. I use my own cards. I mean, that's how simple. I put all my own cards in these as much as I can get them. So
Mhm.
it's a no-brainer to go with them, right? Like,
And what the big realization I had in learning about Pather and just talking with them and Neville about all these various products that they produce is, you think about like we will it's no routinely somebody goes and buys a $5,000 hockey card and puts it in a 20-cent piece of junk plastic.
that's crazy.
Right. And so that's why I'm most excited about this. I think that we're gonna, help create awareness for a product that is really befitting of, and it doesn't have to just be a $5,000 card. It can be your most valuable PC card, regardless of what the price is, but a card that you love and you want and to protect.
And they're always innovating. They're always learning. Like, let's be honest. Neville, he's not the biggest hockey like sports guy. Like, he likes it, he loves it and everything, but he always is asking. He asks us more questions than we asked him. Almost like he's always yearning to learn, and he knows I'm a big, Ottawa Senators guy. So when he was asking me questions a year ago, and then we see some new products today, he's listening, he's retaining, he's trying to make his products better. He's a passionate man about his company, and we're very happy to do this. I'm ecstatic for it.
Well, I'm gonna get to the best part now.
Oh,
Sorry,
hold on.
I keep cutting you off. Sorry.
Let me jump on this really quick
Okay.
before you get into that best part, because I 100% agree. But was it 2 years ago when I got a I think I bought one of my first Madonnas at the expo. I wanted a new case for it, and I at first I thought their name was Panther, so I called them that for a long time. But when I looked at their cases, they were amazingly clear, and I didn't know why. I didn't know what we know today about them, but I love
Yeah.
them. And the biggest thing for me is you guys know, Bill knows because he hates it that I do it, but I put all of my, we'll say the one touches now, those are in team bags or the other companies that make stuff for them. My slabs, they're in bags, right? I cover them because they scratch. I have 1, 2, 3 here that I just grabbed out. These are all ultimate holders that I've had for a long time. The ultimate holders I don't put in anything. They are the only holders that I don't put in a team bag.
Extra layer of protection.
Extra layer of
Yeah,
protection.
because otherwise it gets scratched to all get out, and then they look awful.
Right, but these ones don't.
I know.
All the other ones I have in team bags because those
It sells itself.
will scratch
It-
up.
Yeah,
does.
like if you let's say you don't like the Gong Show, you don't like anything to do with anything we talk about ever, but you collect sports cards, this sells itself. The
Mhm.
case sells itself if you are a collector of sports cards. The 32 points are my favorite. I love protecting my inserts if they're not in my top loader binder. They are the clearest, best made, and Josh is probably getting to the good part soon. Well, one of the good parts.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't. I got to do it because I'm so excited. So the prices vary depending on the size, and they have lots of different sizes for point thickness of your cards. But I'll just give an example. And I haven't done like a complete like SWOT analysis of all the competition of one touches versus ultimate holders, but I'm pretty impressed with the pricing of
Yeah.
these. And they have now, and this is fairly new, they have a US based shopping site and a Canada shopping site to make it very easy to buy, and you don't have to ship internationally. But as an example, a 35 point ultimate holder on the Pather.com website is $279 US dollars. And then you can buy singles, you can buy malt packs, you can get like a 20 pack or more. And then on the Canada site, it's $3.62 Canadian.
Yeah, for a ultimate holder, it's like a one touch, right? But it's an ultimate holder. And listen, I'm not one to give financial advice, but you're not just going to buy one. If you're going to try something out, spring a little bit, buy the 5-pack. You're going to be upset you didn't order 50. I guarantee you. I haven't met one person that doesn't like them yet. I'm going to say it. I haven't met one person.
Yeah, well, I would be curious to see if somebody had a legitimate argument against these, because I honestly can't think of one. And we've talked to him for 9 months, and like to a point you made, Phil, we take great care who we bring on this show, and because we don't want to endorse crap.
I can't lie. I'm not I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it. I have to like the thing. I mean, it'll come out. The truth will come out some way, somehow. Right. And I love these. I love these holders. I'm actually the one that kind of pushed for this the most, I think. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the company and the way they operate, that family feel to it. Neville is such a good guy, and he runs his company. He's a reflection of his company, and the
Humble,
product, like
ethical.
I said. Yeah, even if you don't like any of what I just said, I'm telling you, the goods are great. Give it a shot, man. How would they get it?
And I overanalyze everything. I mean, Josh can attest to this. I mean, anything I have, I try.
To an impressive degree, you own. You're like, there's part of me that gets sad for you, and part of me is jealous and impressed of you at the same time.
Now, I will always be told, well, what's wrong with that? It works, right? It works, but that's how I put in all this stuff. It works, but I don't have to buy something to put this case in. Now, I don't have to do other.
Louis hates the bags. He's a bag hater.
With these, I don't have to. I got a plethora of cards here that are all in bags, but to not have to and not worry about them getting scratched, because that's one of my biggest pet peeves. I love it.
Scratch resistant. Let's make sure it's not scratch proof. It's scratch
resistant.
I
mean, if you take a sledgehammer to it, you're gonna. But I'll even take that a step further.
Oh.
They're recessed, of course, so the card fits in it. and I don't even feel the need on these to put the, how like some people in like their one touches put the flat penny sleeve over it and then the case on top.
Yeah,
I just
I
go
don't.
straight case. And honestly, it makes the card look so much better, right? So I have like right here my card I love that I got at the expo, my Mario Lemieux Blue PMG from 2012 Fleer Retro. And
Mhm.
again, if this has like a penny sleeve on top of it, a team bag over it, and a poopy scratched one touch, it's like you can't even really enjoy the card. It's so clear and it just looks amazing. And for $2.50, I'm in. Or $2.80, whatever
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
not
I'm
a
in.
hard like, and they're low key. Like they're not. I mean, I don't know. Maybe now with
He
helping
would be
us out
embarrassed.
as we're.
He would be embarrassed. I know Neville at this point to how much we've gushed about it. And we
Yeah,
don't usually go on and on like this, but we're big fans. I mean, I can't
yeah.
help it. I'm
This
sorry.
is. And I'm also listen. I'm gonna. Maybe he doesn't want me to say this. I don't know, but I'm trying to get him to make a 155 point. You're welcome, hobby. You're welcome, cup lovers. I'm trying to get. We're the first people that told him that the 155 is desperately needed for hockey. He's like, what? No one's told me. We need. So I'm pushing hard. I'm pushing hard for the 155. I think that would clean up because I need like 150 of those holders. So
Yeah.
You pay for the mold yourself. But that goes back to Phil though, the fact that they make them themselves. So that's
yeah,
in theory,
it's
and that's
possible.
again part of that feedback loop of hopefully that's part of the value we can
Can
bring to
we
them.
take feedback? Like, I'm sure. I mean, we have his number.
Sure.
Like people. If you guys think of some better, here's another cool thing. The other companies have the 2 prongs. They have a thicker prong at the bottom. I just that little thing I like better. It's got a better seal to it, a better fit. Anyone has suggestions? I mean, we know the owner, so you could let us know and we'll kick it upstairs.
Yeah, I have one card that needs a 155 point badly, and I can't find a case that works for it.
Well, you do a 180, a
I
penny
know, but
sleeve the
then you
back
get-
in half,
then
the
you
whole,
get this.
Yeah, so penny sleeve, I just told you what to do. You cut a penny sleeve in half, fold it, put it in the back of the card, and it won't go.
But why?
Yeah. No, so all good and all in good time. So the big thing is if you want to check them out yourself, shoppather.com or CA. So shoppather.com is the US site, .ca is the Canadian site. The links are in the show description. Honestly, try it out. And I will be shocked if you hate it. I really would. I can't imagine.
I'd be
that.
shocked if that's not all you bought. Just on the clarity alone. Like it's a big difference. It's a big difference.
So we're very grateful to them. I mean, obviously, support of people like Pather helps us make the show possible, helps us to our goals of growing this bigger and providing a more entertaining, more fun show for the hobby. And we can't do it without people like Pather. And so very, very grateful to that. Okay. It's the longest intro to personal pickup.
Yeah, I know. I kind of feel like a homer, but everything. Yeah, sorry.
Phil,
It was finally fun to be able to talk about something we all love so much.
Yes, good
Like,
point. And we've been trying this for almost a year. Like I'm pretty sure we approached him. Like I did. I'm like, dude, I love your stuff. Anyways, okay.
well,
Yeah.
no, okay. Well, quick thing, but Pather very generously supplied a boatload of these for Rip Party last year, and that's what kicked all this off.
Yeah, they were so that is why, because I approached them because I love their product, and then the business questions came, and then I was like, I don't know, here's my friend Josh, and then Josh stepped in, and
well, we didn't even know about the acrylic and the UV protection and scratch resistance at the time too. So okay, now get in your card.
Now here we go. My awesome card. Yes. So I got this card a little while ago, but full disclosure, I lost it.
Shocking.
Hold on. Where are we here? Jesus. All right.
There we go. Yeah.
Ooh.
So I didn't want to talk about it. I willfully ignored but I knew it was in my house. And I was very happy. But that's why I haven't done my Brady Tkachuk YouTube video by binder yet, because I could not find this card. And that is a big part of my top loader binder. So I'm really excited when we're done recording here to go revamp my entire top loader binder and take all the cards out and re-put them all back in, because I found my beautiful Brady Tkachuk, 1 of 1. It's not a golden treasure. It's a rainbow gold of this year's O-Pee-Chee.
Yeah.
There's a space after O-Pee-Chee. There's no platinum
Where
word
did
set.
you find it?
That's a good question, Joshua. I don't remember.
Shocking.
I don't know where I got this. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Baba Louie.
Well, let me get back on the right thing here. So I don't know if I showed these in hand. I might have shown like pictures when I picked these up at the expo, but I went and I've had these in here for when was it, April, May, June, 4 months in and out of my box here, but 2011-12 Artifacts jersey patch out of 35 Broder. And then I mentioned this, I think, as a gift. Probably one of my favorite dang cards ever, just how clean it looks. But it's a 15-16 Upper Deck Contours out of
That's
20
a wicked
Broder.
card, dude.
I
That's a
love
wicked,
that card.
wicked
It's one of my favorites. But
Well, I know we got to stop because we're getting over the top here, but look how freaking crystal clear that card looks in that.
I didn't do any magic. I just took a picture of it.
No,
That's amazing.
Awesome.
I had one pickup this week. My good buddy from Phil from Ottawa. May have heard of him.
My good buddy from Phil. I want to go there.
My good buddy from Phil. He sent me a 2024
Oh, okay.
Brad Marchand holotypes that I need for my set. So thank you very much, Phil.
I thought you bought that. I was like, dude, what are you doing? I sent this to you. Okay, okay.
The rat.
Yeah.
Looks great in the ultimate holder.
Mm-hmm.
We can't stop.
Dude, come on. You're gonna show a second card there, Poopy
No,
Pants?
that's all I got.
No, Poopy
That's
Pants got none more.
You didn't order anything on the internet that you want to show that you own?
Well, now that we have the Panther thing and we want to show our cards and their beautiful, sexy,
wow. Okay, yeah.
luscious ultimate holders, we gotta wait. So you win, Phil. Ultimately, you won.
I don't want to win. I just want a good time.
If you like the episode, please leave a rating and review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, you want to support us, want to chat with us on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, please consider a $5 a month donation. Join our $2.99 support level tier on Patreon. Link is in the show description in both YouTube and the podcast apps and our Instagram and TikTok profiles. Or you can go to our website, Hockey Cards Gongshow, and click on the Become a Patron link, or just go to Patreon directly, patreon.com, and search for Hockey Cards Gongshow. We're on social media. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And boys, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a production of Dogbox Ventures LLC. Go Canada Soccer! All right, I'm going. Baba Louie, take us out.
Bye.
Oh.
Yo, it's the Gongshow. We're dropping the facts.
Hit the wrong button.
Cards on fire, no holding us back. Josh looking sharp, the face of the scene. Feeling pork chop pants, rocking it clean. Baba Louie in the booth, he's the man with the plan. The best producer in all the land. Gongshow Nation, let's hit the flow. It's the Hockey Cards Gongshow. Let's go, let's go. Wanna say them in show.
Oh, yeah.